na emu ba ko asese edi atintim ban party enra na trend pa wo yi se yedi illegal mining ho nkomo a eye NPP prime minister nyame ya adoma 31st January wo mo ebeko eni emu ensensem campaign messages akodo a ekokoso ensem ankrofo keka ne nyina na keka bomu a ho nkomo trend ye na enra ba ko na edi identity a honorable kwabena Japan ne camp the document crat ababonten say enye nokore but utieti asem no inside the party we say asem no dey me say betimi aye nokora ne sa bra hwe yi asem beba ai all say NPP for HS opese wo core primaries and as opese ye flag bearer ne bia wo mo development fee bia wo say wutua na minim say party ni we nyina chi kura say hia wo mo ama obi per flag bearer odo na was obetua development fee di ma party no ti eje omo 4 million Ghana cedis pa cho anya titi sika no new cedis na 1 million cedis kwa say 100,000 sa 10 100,000 sa 10 na odi benya 1 million
kind of billion and 1 billion no billion billion no
1 billion sa 1 million no
we billion go 46 billion no can ye mom
zero so 1 billion sa 46 hi na omeja says can way but they are paying so no crap say bisa kese ya wasi bisa so ya say ahwe onabo kwabena je Japan onya say sika no ya man 48 hours say wontua when three betimi are disqualified and now issue statement say enye no kore still game no du owom ne owom ana che say sika no betua when tua dia na che say aye critical innocent NPP matters arising issues you know doso na no kwa de ba omi amefa we so na we ade account Dr. Baumia say wa hu se na chita afọ no bebre didi atem say ko ka so de no ho abeka ho saa kwa no hye dambo bre bia na odidi mpanyifo atem rofrofo no ode no ho abewuram Baumia say wo mo didi atem no wo mi so mo ta na chi de na so wono na ne ti wo ballot no so enti delegates no do no mu ni asem enti wo mo hwe no mo to aba ne ma no tikikane nyina bom na emesi development fee no so
yeah mamechia na menchia watie for na menchia solo so ye share 2 weeks
sa agreement we the MC very
2 weeks I got you
when it's all good every na other things has to be taken care of I think the MPP issue we aba my yes you can be ya can but you see Ghana issue no buy toto ho amanfo fa na tra but what na say now we a very incisive critical analysis you begin to ask yourself a lot of questions asama wo kan ye na me begina so dey my analysis
okay
so MPP by power for 8 good years the political party MPP is an entity recognizable enumu na aban no pie ba
sure
but ever since the MPP exited power, the entity that gave birth to government, the MPP as an entity has become broke. But individuals within, Abaina Ekreti, have become so super rich to the extent that now they are the very people who are financing the party. So we will be aware now to now common sense analysis. I trust the whole essence of politics for the pesika. Political party in a vehicle. When they capture power, they don't even recognize. MPP, I don't know whether even headquarters grow mobile. Good. So the entity, the structure, which is the MPP, that is the identity of the group, it is broken to the extent, and they need to force aspirant to cough out 4 million and sana. Contest. It doesn't make sense. And they are just advertising the sort of incompetence and the greed that we've been talking about. For instance, individuals who are bisa say a Juma Bay now what the parliament now we Juma now wouldn't be dakrana. You can't even produce that sum of money. But we live in a country, America, other people, when people make donations, they're able to tell you the source of the money, how they got it, so there are no questions. For instance, Elon Musk was doling out $1 million to fans, to supporters. People knew where the money was coming from. And you cannot say, or any legitimate business will be able to finance. Some individuals say, I want to say, aside yes, there are some they have the money they can produce in as for but idea that was a person contested on the flag bearer of MPP to this particular sika way, then it shows that we are rather monetizing the entire political party.
Yeah.
Who needs sika kwatran chen? So Kwabena Japan, he's among the people. No, I can say he's one of the finest. For instance, Oyobia, or you're very straightforward. Or Chenadria, which means that this is a deep thinker, somebody with conviction. Those kind of stuff. And sa nipa way or what that particular opportunity and commit maybe do with the Mara branded party. No catch and say because or nisi cantino who in every party no ma. Yeah, and as a own man in contest here, own contest here. Does it make sense? You understand? So in some air question camp party, whenever you're talking, people think you are criticizing. But the fact of the matter is that the MPP has lost its identity. And what makes them relevant, and then a new hobby. That is why you see some of the things going on, because it doesn't make sense. Say Obiba Tenasiaka say an aspirant should cover 4 million. Actually, say Bano Mobile, and they have the money. Yeah. You understand?
Yeah.
That is why the party itself is broke. Well, people were busy chasing money. The political entity was left way, and the individual should finance a political party. An individual, an entity just was in power for 8 good years, has become broke. So individuals were rather using the political party to make money for themselves. And we are going and now what in China, and I support the party now what in China. We should know that. Or so now, so I what here, or so no. A man for the making sika. Konifia ko ha de and I want to meet make us a luxurious car 18 gunifia ya besa.
Yeah.
Oko Kumasi a mantia ne maiwa na omodi or so no. Obi ha bicycle kron to bida. But regional chairman at a luxurious car. Durosen obetime 8 about 15 eguni dem egunifie ba other cars away and come wasem. And you see that is why I've been advising young people say time has come not this unbridled partisan allegiances now over the years. Politicians capitalize that and they see people as fools. They do omoye no sasanya mana katia obia ni beda ha mo bia suanyansa. Because if we continue to bury ourselves in these blind partisan politics, where your friends say partisan allegiances become so tacit to the extent that we don't ask questions, there will be a support. People will take you for granted. People will use you as an instrument to make money for themselves, because these people are more shouty. Say when they came into this country, people saw them.
Yeah.
Some were taxi drivers. Suddenly almost billionaires. Some were a bit of kitchen and will be America soldier for or buy suddenly they are billionaires. Where did they get the money from? And they will tell you some about me This is the money they took from the system. The system finance whatever, because the system is structured in such a way that you can steal money and get away with it.
Yeah.
Answer on politics, how many of them? What I say? And you buy your money as an incentive, say, and or just obi here and send or time be or my nima. At the end of the day, at least it is to the highest bidder. And Nkrofoya anymore as delegates, they are the most corrupt group of people in a political setup. They are always for the money. Yeah. So at the end of the day, they always sell their allegiance to the highest bidder. So the quality you look, you will not find it. So any idiot at all who makes money says, "I'm the president," and the president, any idiot at all can just pop up say, "Me was come about my brother, my sister, what about them? Yeah, they are dying is the president. Yeah, they are doing any nim dear, any deal of my name. About Tarene, your friend saying, vision, need dreams are war. I keep telling people, so when Kwame Cross coming to this country, he came only with his bag. The plan take it to Kurobini Chamano, and some with me back Kuroma say, no, but when the people saw the rich ideas in the vision as a for political party or the they jettisoned the party and went for Nkrumah as an individual because they saw something in him. You understand? So I think that this whole thing, actually, we are losing our democracy bit by bit, and we are selling it to the highest bidder. I'm telling you, and I've been telling people, say a time will come over Jubilee House, not monkey as president, because whoever comes with money, I know they don't know. We don't look around. The system is so corrupt, especially the media. If you give them money, they will come and sit down and be hyping you as to whether you have ideas, you have way. They don't care. You understand? But our minor cannot be on this particular trajectory. You understand? So it's the reason why the MPP, as a serious political party, should identify this, recognize this, and know, say, you cannot sell your presidential candidate bid for money. You can't do that. So I know the day, allow people. The only reason Adenimo hesitated, your friends, yes, Adenimo hesitate is because of this. You understand? The reason why Papa we also called national chairman, my friend is saying, Wacheja hesitate is because of some of these things. But these are great minds, individuals with absolute conviction of their own. They don't dance to influences. They don't pander to obey. Your friends are influences, and for these are men on their oon. But because of why you're waiting to know, so I know the day. Obia bakwa kopa kwan bia so benya sika bia or ba bedi aban na nimbia bakwa kopa ba. So at the end of the day, what is the message you are sending out to people within the party with ideas, with vision? They should go find any mean possible because yes, I want more bra win to be the president. So when you see a dan we easily go I win to be the president, win to be say and you go on social media, this nonsense has eaten so deep into the head of some Ghanaians, especially some in the diaspora. On social media, but strong kwasia semne sabin sama nyansa nim and away and our one brand and sikana. Who said we are talking about money here? Because if it is about money, these individuals, you think they are the richest people in Ghana? No, there are people who are far richer than them. You understand? Leadership is a different ball game altogether. You understand? So I think this culture of monetization that the MPP is advertising, then this should also draw inspiration from some of these things because I know very soon the turn will come and it's going to be the same thing. You understand? I think we must be advised. Now we admonish, we are looking for quality. And now to near presidency succession, you don't even know who is capable person to lead the country. You don't even see. Nipa no hu bebra che say it doesn't even inspire. Che say I because over the years, we have never prioritized leadership in this country. Elsewhere, I'm for looking at a certain succession plan, build individuals. In the future, these people are the possible leaders in our country. Those things are your priority. It is about who is able to steal much money when we are in power and use the same thing to bribe delegates. I was shocked when MPP called the Congress. I say, Brian Champo the finance Obisi Baumia the finance So, Bisa say, young go back to 2016. Now, Baumia the Sika 77. Brian Champo no one can Sika 7. So why after 8 years now they are the one financing party? Sikana Mukonya no heaven. What I say. So we can't we are say Baba mu be we are the ye. That is the message we are sending because we are not on America soldier for shake chain. There is na America minukra head nukra or no Jessica saying yes, but suddenly the gentleman became fabulously rich to the extent that the biggest hotel in West Africa was see. And Ghana a hotel or so turning as a forum, but in there where those monies were coming from, be according to me. What are some American? I think we must begin to get serious. The MPP as a political party or no, I can't just say they are on a coalition course. Ukanyans are some muntie. And they are not even amenable to wisdom sense, anything. That is why they are going on this. That is why the last time I catch said, so we see Muso Quainswa, when Nasa ha. So Obia stop what winjina until so cashier nothing will stop you. And that is the kind of coalition course they are on because why would anybody in his widest way who had the caliber of people who have pop up? Nipa ba ko heard anima sabi bibi woni mu kakra na ya verse kwabena Japan. To be very yes, sometimes so I did. No make sense. This is a gentleman who has been doing diligent politics. Meme tie na ade ba kwa mani anje na one and a double standing during the elections or koba umi e chana no I say onye way. But aside that, or you obi a wunya no hwasa menka. And Okasa, you see clarity of thought, ideas, and you see he's a strong man. The MPP is serious. Nanka even they conclude on that particular gentleman. So only your friend say the MPP. I'm telling you, he's going to turn their fortunes around. But that wisdom will never because greed in amount for they don't care. You understand? That is what I'm telling you. Your politics not say, and it's the reason why we must begin to engage young people and teach them different politics. Let me add this. I'm trying to set up your friend saying a foundation that will be going from university to university, engage young people on issues of nationalism, patriotism, and how you bet me standing own up to our own conviction. If you are learning politics issue bar, you don't need to go and watch the TV, listen to the Obibaka and Sana your ideas. As a human being, naturally, you need to have your instinct, stand up to your conviction, and speak your mind. That is how we build a country. You understand? That is why America and other places are on one by because they disagree on certain things. By the hand, they will not even allow you. Because everybody wants a sycophant, a bootlegger, people who be singing hallelujah choruses. And you know, you who say when you drink a canaba challenge, but you need an alternative views, alternative ideas, or critical thinkers a bit challenging the status quo. Sabaya one kasa ebia me say ade o medisi ha na ye. But one more thing change you who say ha na medisi ye. So when you have that diverse view now, then you begin to straighten up. By her leadership is about when I support me now more dama. We are president. How can you say me now for na me do move mind? Because every single brain in the country is at your disposal. Yeah. Just use the best of human resources available within the country to execute agenda by friends, cronies, minion, when a support to me, when a post to me, when a year say, so by the time I and the app no now ya surround your sycophant and bootleggers omono say sabi we naked cry na you catch us over kente because all their essence is tied to your tenure. The very moment you are not there, they become irrelevant. Yeah. So they will do everything to ensure that you stay. That is the kind of politics we are doing in this country. So for me, I think that MPP there, okay, this time or more economic kopema. I think it's back because by it doesn't make sense. Common sense will tell you to tell people they should pay 4 million Ghana cedis. Not say what say microphone could to pass on mobile chrono because I do chim. Obi or no education minister 4 million Ghana. But when you kwakutia, yes. Kwabena Japan for the past be we ni oni aban mu ono na bia na private job no ye ono bra na wabra wanya ni sika 4 million so on time famra political party will give birth to aban aban na manfo abama be ye sika be ye billionaires ba umi ato ni sisi no ye billionaire. How many people no to be financing okroma saying ewie na ya fan say omonam na omo me say Ghana ha nipa nwino nipa me say Ghana ha mpanimfo dodo na nim nyansa to the extent that this is a party omo power na anu ada no no omo na kaya yefo ho na omo bere yes sika
kwa China kwa sika
add a credit card scratch a credit card 8 years after one person can say I'm financing a political party now we are going now in Tanzania you too say with the power move so maybe I must have we see come here that is why people are capitalizing on some of these things and the young say now to anywhere political stage in this one say nipo mu nim nyansa dodo na ajeswafa because we don't prioritize wisdom, intelligence. Wisdom is about why connection. Obi kotu galamse no nya nisika. When MPP look at regional chairman and as for now one kasa they are fighting among themselves. Kasa piefro obi enumba na sabi team. Oh and na na metesa brand ya say obi aye bie ni ti so de.
Ai so no about me say mo fam to abati.
Now why should we even get such people such vulgar people even close to University Radio so kasa ma? Because when they sit, what they advertise is ignorant, that is so sincere and that is so innocent. He doesn't even understand politics. No one saying can kwasi asem because when you're free air and okay can go. The same thing and na Canada Japan so nkro for catch there. But we say ne yere omuntu aba mu bia ne yere eye fulani ni na sambo bedwane. This is the level so sabako for we are over for Kennedy and now over for we am na support mine. Am na support mine. That is why I'm telling you MPP and lucky leadership. General Secretary about radio so how kasakra or kasa me menti bi krada na say ne katere ma buru na num sa no kan oba kasa 30 minutes won tehwe national chairman yes wa yira minim so won hu na said so party do hefa council of elders kwatena wa say be nsem hunu ni na say for no now look at the people they are passing to go and contest which serious council of elders will sit down looking at the track record of some of these individuals on the ballot. Na kacha say MPP party na Kufo na se for nimba no sa nkrofo enkodi party anim
GH Mensa mo
yes sa nkrofo enkodi party anim na sabi wonyare a so you see the party na nkasa yare and I think they would swat the kokolebu maybe abeboa almost sa painkillers more party na nkasa beba fi because party na dwen ni fie na memuram
so
me chia innocent chia wankasa chia wa hefo
say no nyina code yi di enya
di enya pa ebende se wa frɛ yama ebehu MPP assembly de okay kai be kawia no musu but meka
no kura de say
what topic yi meka bi ana omo tie ni ntie yi MPP a public institution
yes
eno ntino ebetua ba be ya ban ama omo be di oman no so to masemba o se ka nipa num na yeso omo kwa ballot no Educhum, Kwabena Japan, Kennedy Japan, Brian Echampo, Mahmoud Baumia. What me and Jessica, I could hear 46 billion. Yameti Frontier said, Nipa Bakwa, when ya a Juma 8 years in Minaye, Kwabena
Japan.
On one way, ya a Juma,
yes,
that is a very good point.
Yeah,
very good.
I know no soon intimatia.
Yes.
Now, yes, I met you for Tia says, Obia or Ya Yedim Naketia.
Very important point.
It's on what basis? And for Omunya says Kyei every year
46 billion.
Omugina say Obakutia comfortably. Kede Japan no a boche Ghana Gas. Mahmoud Baumia no a vice president. Okay, Napku me ba me beka kire mo say sa ade no de buy nipa 100,000 no boa. Na mo number 7,000 ana mo twa gu 93,000 no. Bo so me bia no ko 700 say for calculator na calculate. 700 times 93,000 cities.
I mean calculate.
Bo so me bia
700 cities
times 93,000
times 93,000. 65 million.
Every month.
Every month.
It could go. We look at
5.1 million.
Oh, go to your friend say 4.6. And yet, chicken change.
Queens.
Aduchum, Oko Ministry of Education, guys, UNESCO for the year, Gallop, almost in favor millions of dollars.
Moshoso. Search no more say 5 million, almost say 3.2.
Ah, I was having a wee is available.
So they have the money.
Okay.
Brian, from national security to agric.
Yeah.
Better no Muntintia. Oh, betia. Now, I so sad, innocent Kasembi. You see, you to know Krumano, Bibrinano, Agenano, Yada, but I said, your boy, Mona, again. Because so we di party we achia na chale wote kura no untumi ntobi na obi etumi asesa 46 billion so de kwakotua e filing view me no ka say omo na nam na omo ya campaign hu sika mayo omo du ba bia so a omo drop sika enti hemfa no munya sika no you're a serious country and national security ne iyoko ne FIC but now they are investigating all these characters. But omuni nemu no omo yede omboko abra yete MPP party na eni mbumum the way I need the finance party is a member share dues and party bia member must pay dues. O do mean kasa o join udom ku na so ntwa dues enu nti no e ma oye part of the party dinanka character 20 that's also wo base nipa base 1 million across the country hwe bosumi bia de obetumi anya enu ne ye de party ni Satana party no opposition 90 say about 2000 party ni nya ba be mu ape Adam started tea ade friend financiers of the party ama be wi aban ni sika ana omo so mo yes ka for ye worship wo mo enti kwabna enmity ombe yi na free anya de anya na ngwa na mche ache kra so be odinka protest to national council say on the onu ni say ska ro betua na omo pa omo nyini free mu ye hwe ana ngwa ye be yi wa free Enti dia ya be ya na se wakoje office or ring road no so se be ye ni e be yi sa post no dia why dia
o ha o rent ye
ko na ko red road de picture kakraka se be ye be ko yi picture no kra na me gina ho ka hwe tira na wontie da akufuado asai ko na Japan political career o ka tira na o ka bofu papai Emma wo kire fie adia yakaya guani ma obi a wa ko campaign abe general secretary of a party akufodo now you are once a strategist and you free ho wo ti fie o mama wa nya position bia wo na mu sa election ba be ba ni afre kwabere Japan no di America wey wa ko gira party me I love my party excuse my French ono kwanti na matter meja me follow first man am sympathizing with the judges. Because one party now come on go di anybody can say matter they go pamo sa akoko ana asa so de ho ko ye o wie ye under 2024 leading 2023 primary school bi and someone who can fa ba omia ne hu o wie ye anu asa akoko di ba omia chi say e dey be don party such a character I don't take him serious on say Escafo amount interestingly. No aye activism more than the 4 na etu scandal our MPP mu. On what to watch more than the rest of the 4 no. And so no na nye sika. Esa so ka so de no kura be politics ukrom ha. Unye bi de bia nye. So to say young man bi be mu no nya no tam because ono no wonwene Ghana ho wonwene ku no. Ba kwabna yes so ko dwini go akire ye daada na adwini minim de hugu na nim alasa de de ko daada no na wasan so adan ne ho na wakwa kohyem adan ni mu asem okai enyini apapa bi eni hono a otu anoma on calculate o
yeah
example no trogu krata so a enye no kre first of all o si scheme ade na nkasa no mkoye no oraba omia ne beguni
yeah
number 2 o si top down no ye more roof ansa ne aba be foundation enye papa ado si de twa ne sunu mukura ene se ye ji omo 4.6 million no asante bamponi ba bra wa brand video mo started secondary school
4.6
na brongo secondary school no do abedu a onko famre mo na saadie wo ye omo ye 4.6 wonu so omo di sie party fo ne bi memene Ivan call joy prime
yeah
na me ka kire host ne say omo je 4.6 awa Muhammad who free who politics go won tiase who you don't even read onime
sa
onime you ignorant you clueless you hear di nanya no nko a Richard Anyagba communications director of the party me no GH1 banta me boa wa busa na Richard ugu wonu ma say communications director of the party you don't even know
na just on kra no ni
obudi esi na de ema ne ye me wonwo kra ne the chairman of the council of elders Hackman Owusu Adjuma wono so anu demo Owusu say hey they are Jesus what I'm saying na party in the one to take decision now we are not going to sit down for them to take such an amount yeah we are not monetizing them say can chairman of council of elders your title when if full soldiers is super
hey
the one when they take his decision yeah that is a party they say what kofu kumabi omo hijack party and omo dey yedi omo pe omo nwene omo anywhere egu akase ebe manifest e san say wo kan John 10:10 na ho na MPP sem ni nyina e wo omo ba so mu be wia no makum no ma say you know the first part no ti say ye hia omo a e ba be ye ni yi na omo ni say ni pani bi anim na obi aye de ope eno nti campaign ya omo aye ti say de maburu so yi e ya bone nko na omaka ti say de omo mu afiri omo bone omo ye ho ana omo tia si ade a ye ni mu bi ye ka se ye the health records of candidates so omo hu ade ana so omo hu ye
the adro no
the say ade omo have
e bi obi ti so dia
na no na akoya minim say ya the thing say you so father
very ignorant guy he doesn't know it
was he akobie kere de Japan triso chese wabodam owie na so ana Kennedy for say hold on we had record dey nyu o say ba omia autism from the Kennedy's camp and this much say health status na nkasa nye bone no cry nya dealing with it that's what was abeka say the front runners no ba kwa bodam ba kwa e the autism koruko e dia bio na Ghana fo no hia
ni beto abeti
so omo aboye so ti ase say omo kire say na the rate omo di good party na nwa say internally omo ayo so be good party and omo ye ne sa now beyond that you know abaye omo kwa koto no so no ma tese even who's on call national delegates conference no ka say gomo di edipane bi be kan what do you say me no ka say omo ya abom na delegate sa listener other camps ni oraba omi camp kwa no ya we timete secretary camp anu dem ada na mo ye yehu kese bibie ni wo a omo ye in a free
man no they want to make kayo say ma hihye adwuma
say want to me no o hihye adwuma wie na omo internally omo so de di no a information omo di ama ato de genu anu ahye
oh really
want to worry want to ma wa ne baba ya no on paye bia so on to be todo ya ha na eduro afi na eduro todo ya ha na o se hia so say anu ahye because there a big bomb dey come evidence na bounce galamsey sem yi wanimu a 2022 ana minerals commission ni lands commission lands and natural resources ministry e ka so omo de omo ma wuntumi kwan tumi krata bia se onkonko ye mining e wo forest enti anu ye enough tano ni mre forest ye videos ni ade wo ho ehemfo ni asofo ni malamfo na okuro no so a ewura forest mu anyame amemu a enkasa akontafo no eko proud no ye ni masema enti omo ayai adami hu poster say na na akomia so person ye national chairman so omo yisu wuntumi awie me hu ya na say wuntumi is in trouble esa say wuntumi na akomia omo the same camp ba omia okay and one camp can never present someone serious two candidates say mon go contest for national chairmanship ye nyina so wuntumi aka kire say obekọ for national chairmanship the jomo who say no wuntumi no wan hwe ya na me ko mamba okọ aba asemsebe yemfa substitute enye dem embrem enti sana omo ye now free ho a no abade Mahmoud Bawumia abeka kire Ghana fo yi say ye friend say me enhwe
omo didi atemo mo ne camp no
na we kra kire say eni say yadwene ho say be PTA chairman one go for ne kasama wo na ye leader no leaders are supposed to lead wo hu se nkofo bi a wa select wo no wo mo ade a wo mo ye ne ye nguase first of all mo nkanyansa sem number 2 ensem mo kanyina e negative to o campaign no what you want to me and take decision do say mama hwe ne ko han wan ka say ye ko hwe wo hu eno na me de wako OSB oyi se wo no mo asem no say escafo manta mutumi nya sika tele ekoto more than 300 brand new pickups also investigate you and do some no kwano encourage engofo wa bonti that's number 2 one of the characters boni amu abem mu mistakes no and those mu ye boni bebrenti emfa nchemo ana Ghana for say ya tiase na emo ko court na aka say me guilty a na nyo nje say ya chew afina na judge no kwa kohwe emranim say oye boy uwi ameko a eno ne punishment ye say etimene uka say asem na beto Ghana for anim say ye hwe mo born in the extent amna mutu ye SML amofa ye poalugu sika ekọ mef ye kwakọ ye ko London Stock Exchange sika ekọ ye kan oforiata 30.5 billion okobo ya ye hunso ye friend say National Scholarship Secretariat Kenya sika asibi ayira National Service San yeko 30 for Africa Games and sikapudio ye hunso edi afina ye enti pe apidi yes die say kutu say bam oh eti we nyina afina ye die lens ni hwem ebia punishment na ye hu say mudi je vo say ye be wipe party ni kura na say ye be balance party no from this world and now say yen ka say ye ma 100 years in opposition eti ye nwie sa asem no now so be ka kire say wo mo e kasa ma wo ya brandy aboya me best me dignify no esan so dignify na so waka bia almost obi a wotwa nwahie bia no na wan kasa odo wan kasa uru Bawumia no enka asem a enkuranhye wo ba ni nyina ne se ye omaskimu e de ayede ama ne se enye de ya obedi nkunim ti no onum se de obeka bia no so ye orakofo so ye a man of destiny ya chiase ono na ye de ye kra ama no won de o ma medie ni nti wo mra na ye nya yi na ono to sa ya mbie na ora gabi so ehyenchen de o so wagya politics ni ye
to abo park
enye izo abo a wodi gu park
e wo be se aduma no kra
former so bi na pia ke kana adwa kire no ma
na gabi wo hwe opie rally bi ase e wo krom ha o they will chase you. I've given him free advice say wonim ne wo bufu a wono ba ya obenya ho minister sorry adopa na jejenchirefo yi so no ma salai wo no office gabi Bwache jako kana semwa said ye yi free energy ministry because he was undermined by Gabi. Bibia was about Gabi, Bejetuo, kind of Oriata, Bounty, Nanado, and a more run system of the Ibeka, a road and a Bakuya, Amwakwata, alongside Amwakata, tiny near Amwakwata, women's area. No, what be we go na we obu through opposition na be announce say we dey local politics you crowd on your politics ni bi e say opposition abem ana akodi ade bia e friend Africa Prosperity Network chese monyam ho eskafo eku ana obia tin baby afi wo se sika na mse this time yabo wonya sent bi se wa hwe a PDS nsamsami omo be logo na fra wasanso ba political you say oba be de se ne be ya party for na assembly say ground say ya omo de eche omo a na obia akotena fom na ye me nwanwasa na no a wuntu be pay free court na odi say order say na wo chiamframa ano makura ndi court ewiase hu wo mu ekotira fom na fidie eduru bebi ye kusia na ye duru court na ohia momo ano o maja no hola
me say ntimi mbeli no
me say me hwe wuntumi di na mse so hu wiase the governor himself obi also no former president kwa santimante mo na security clearance free no no a one ni oni wo yi gold I have power and opie ya o cham from no is one de wiase na kwakoduro abronya nso mete se o mo fa no
nra
to ya sa no a na kwa ye ti gabi no ehu se o se bebe ka bi se de be ya eba MPP fo no betua de aba beta mechi anu akwakoto asema waka kura de ama party fo no bu ofu o shaase se okasa na Greater Accra Regional Women's Organization oyifu se asemo de bon afi ha wakum se wonsiro so wonsu esa se okuma se no god on ka sempa bia oni MPP card onya MPP member da no kuta British passport o de nam krom hanmo nti ono no o ka wi a no akotena the UK. That's what they have done to us. But because party they were so weak. Because political party and other party said this about power. John Mahama and his family cannot say so. I'm going to hear a Juma party, my party power. Obitin na kurase wo kukurase wo awotia
exactly
ebura ekoso atendidi ekoso oni na busua omo na Juma party. That was the same thing with the MPP. Papa bi no wo kumas no Oscar friend banks billion. Wako jiji businessmen sika de bre MPP mo ye campaign papay eti honmo Akufo Addo aba abedi abe mu first year so me man time young guys na wanna say papa ye sika na abegiji at least contract ba ku mienu bi kura ye so de betie kazo okwa papa kwa ni adada odi ahotiti sa to uja sa nkofo no owu ye mfa so me nya no owo so no ebomo wu ye de boa me esa se na me project to abi woni kuro mo kwanti ye kwa no alpha ever so nya no so ano but that man died because of a new respected businessman no woman the Ashanti region here omo ebe boa party say eba ka ma omo so adwuma betumpo no on to me unsatisfied ferry ani yidie
fanyina mawo
no de call ye sadwuma wani esi ena no roba umia ye campaign odura santimante mo share businessmen obibini otonsuo ni ade o se opani enye se bia ye baba be ka yakushu agotu no wagu madwuma mam madwuma nyina egu be oba ye na be three produce say ni say electricity bill water bill ntino adwuma na egu to be tira na wo kan ye ntiew eno na businessmen wa santimante nyina bo mu nsem say wa edema no MPP wo position na businessmen sponsor. And the MPP cannot get a single businessman or didn't see about Bishop. As I say, what children who say, more than 2 million bar, more than Bakubi and American say no so. It also affects the same National Democratic Congress. What to all months will be my position. I saw Kaka with him. And him for now, Kohamu now know Kokoya campaign. Wamu now know Mujini and then what is your relationship with them? As Kafu Mantem and the money be to Monsasu to Mure few or more now. No. Na catch Ghana for some mum pa ba esa say your party na nya ba bedwawi wo mu nyina de se mu wi a ne so de abebum e de bom wi a na mo ba look ka kenofurata ye ne wo so ago ne so chi America
yes ye de interpol that
there was no way sa Ghana for get to be free chrome ha kenofurata ye exchange no what are you talking about everybody be na everybody be ye dey billions of dollars according or no man hundreds of millions now be fako now when that can be done but on the number now South 52 billion Ghana cedis now a move from the tax account at the GCB to an unknown account the office of the special prosecutor and then here just can be in account and go for the filing fee of 4.6 million ni nyina ka ho na ka mo start say mo tata wonum na mo agi sika no a I'm telling you obi eni ho a go be de okroma enti MPP ne de said yeah CPP akodru ground zero yi omo nyina so the started political activism so say UP and CPP enti we say atani ata ba ku be wu na ba ku cho da bi esa na nature anye fair say yeah CPP call you know it is time for the MPP to also go na yenya fresh face yeah ba na so another new party but also be clear this year free na new face na yetumi new generation of politicians.
All right, yeah, fast dama ex natural mineral water in super papa me pacho baby abeko dwasubiano ya bomode na hwehwe ex natural mineral water ye kama pa nsuo de say illegal mining aye ntini unum nsuo a wasa odwe hu mienu ya wode ye betimi ede enuro asone so a enuro no emu so because alum na yede so nsuo no so kra no esen buso a eno so kra ya poison o intime pacho ya wonu mu nsuo na wape ensu papa wo benum a kire no nsusanso bia ye nipadue ye kra ye 70% ye nsuo sa na doctor fa ka kire ye eno ye Ivan mu no mo de sa apo na to ye trim o mo no makoye o mo nurse ne o mo medicine eno ma kire ye say nipadue na 70% ye nsuo nti kire wo say any day bia every day wo sorry a o so ma nsuo hu hia akra chen aduane pacho ensuo no onoma na wahwehwe ex natural mineral water eno ene betimi aboa na your second topic no eso President Mahama announced new measures to deal with corrupt in Auditor General report over the years. I say yet why ye trains Auditor General report beba no sika se ne yahwere ye ntena se nkasa afi die Auditor General report beba no na esika no e wose ye de ye ade we ye de ayama mfaso kra ba ye nya profit adase ye save ye de fiti yanka to peso Auditor General report bi obi awiaye ni ahye the brofato so misapplication of funds na no say takrade de say takrade tamale teaching hospital ya validate obi a wawu 2 years 2 months amada bia controller tuaneka sama ni free sama pom no abeyi pay no okọ 2 years o ama 2 months kra beto so kwalebu the same thing just what me say public accounts committee tinasi papa bia ni ho ayase and enya we nko over the years yare e wo and President Mahama say wadwene ho asem ne na homete was say some cases in a banker and channel was a wom kakra at least you should be fast to go to Isawam and I think say a issue aba ye nyina ye di ho nkomo say o man innocent.
I think okay very people are very vocal and very critical about this Auditor General report. I think some of us here have over the years spoken about it because on my be a bobra konenim.
Sure.
But Ghana and Africa, they are boko yachi. Because if you go back to 1957, Ghana independence and from that time we've been retrogressing, and that retrogression, has been happening at a lightning speed, and it is fueled by greed and indiscipline. Okay. And it's the reason why our ground zero and now we are not moving on. And corruption, financial malfeasances, misappropriation of state fund and as a form of a catchphrase in our politics, and every day we wake up to this reality. Abaya normal. So we feel numb. I will be away. In the past few years, I could find a better now saying, and then I got here west. Nasabi, it got to a timer. They were even chasing people.
Yeah.
They were after media people. It took few people to stand up. That was the first. What's Mr. KKD? And he was one of the persons, especially when it comes to your friends Kenoforeta issue. He blew your friend saying a lot of weight on it. Magana for whom what actually was involved. It got to a point that even do you know the GTV come up by your friend up to now. No, but you need to stand for the truth. You understand? These are people more building or more life from Mimitin and Kaname primary school.
Oh, yes, sure.
But they are still relevant. And it means that they are sustain you more standing up to your conviction. And as for what is wrong, what is right. You understand? So it means we need to rectify a lot of stuff in this particular country. This Auditor General report, because sense they make it. Say a mind about tenancy the whole of a year, we are na ya print book kafu o kan ya just with 3 years na be kan ya wie say we na ya wie e ho krata na ye na abeto radio so na ya 1 week na ya go through na it ends there. Nothing is done about it. And my culture say it's a culture that depicts the kind of failure you want as a people, and that we need to take corrective measures to say I didn't see no. We need to address it at the your friends workplace. Now you're making sure that it doesn't fester anymore. And again, they are getting it way into the book like I said, how do we even punish these people? And you see, there is no seriousness, there is no aggression on the part of the state to pursue individuals. It's the reason why people are calling why Kenoforata is not in this country. The reason why people are asking, say, Doctor Attorney General, and for the president to come up to say, they are coming to speed up the process. It means that heat, has gotten to him. Makacha say, John Mahama si Abrosai Magana Nibia Toka Mano, Ebria flowers will be at the Nasa one prosecuted these criminals who stole our money. It will amount to nothing. Because Ghana for wake up to a certain harsh reality. You could see Nipa sabi omunim nyansa no mu wiaw na mo saying this kan wo wanim asandi huru aka cho so papa mobra. When they stole your own money with impunity, and the establishment was in tacit support of everything that they were doing. So Ghana for we don't care about any other thing aside making sure that these people are prosecuted. So if we are starting with the Auditor General reporter, that's a good way, but we must also extend it to other realms because honestly kakasi no Auditor General reporter no no na no kolebu for kwatena akapa hensebu no mkoda na di wo or not kwalebu nya na maame de nya na papa de but we decide so betua 12-month salary. Minister nya where 13th month obi anya where ono ankasa na discretion or to na otam o man sika di sansem hunu we, and at the end of the day people make just silly decisions and they get away with it. You understand? So I think we must begin to prosecute people just to ensure that me say deterrence is the only way you betimi da save you home from this quagmire be a way, apart from say establishing the conventional red lines in the sand for people to know say you don't cross this line. Once you cross, consequences await you. We will never change anything. So president need to walk the talk and ensure that the Attorney General will speed up. You say your Attorney General offices our regional way, but how effective are they? We must begin to decentralize the institution and make it very effective at the regional level and give them that particular power to be able to take cases and ensure that they are also prosecute. See, it me yes, I know the pressure here no a bit is. The office of the a special prosecutor, you might just say useless creation. You are just wasting resources. Or no buy. On far bebe crank or court my bebe for the BS. Can you pay? Now no, yes, I got a tinted card, bulletproof card. Yes, no team no coba. And how no be press conference and who's Owusu. Yes, now we are to Lumba Remes. Now just and say Munisa nothing for so be a maso. I think so. You see, Ghana for our watching and then 1990 and then 2000 where people can just say anything. Oh, Ghana for no longer want to hear. They want to see action. Is the reason why the government cannot renege on its promise to prosecute these people. And the Attorney General, Auditor General reporting we are sick and tired of it. We need to take corrective measures and ensure at the workplace, the auditors there are able to surcharge and ensure that monies are recovered even before they get their way into the Auditor General report. And yes, sir, every year, and it's not as if the minister report Bob on the take corrective measures to prevent it so the next year it will be less. By the idea, it shows that we are not growing as a country. So I think that it's a good step. The Attorney General will also have to quicken. Now making sure say cases are good table. So no Ghana for our watching. I'm telling you in that after 1 year. And one thing about governance and say so you get to the bad side of the people. I say there is nothing that you can do to redeem yourself. That is what happened to Akufo-Addo. So you get to the bad books of the people. And trust me, you will never recover. Nothing about Ghana for any better. And then you don't need platforms to air your grievances. Social media, you see, people will make you dirty. Me say people will destroy your government and make you look so. I hear politics crying out there. Akufo-Addo tiwe. Me sure so people catch and say who cover be no be president. Ebia or ti be a party president will be na tomuram. Because no abefa Ghana no. The offer ni fine and this no. Me sure so the CBB unless say ebia fancy way na person here there. So I think say we need to make sure that we prosecute and punish criminals. Now, no, make galam say easy. Abaye highly infested criminal organization. I'm for feeling interested going in because there is no punitive consequences. Obiam punish you obia. And the land na yedi to galam say no. E wo wura wo. And do kwana say machines ni gu say nipa no mutu na duane a hwehwe land ni wura. You will find the owner of the land. So you're hearing that the man, you arrest the chief, you prosecute the person, and you confiscate the land and make that particular land a state land. Now, our land that go to home. So what the man illegal mining as a state who know about a confiscating and you would won't you look for a competent now farmer? These are some of the aggressive measures that we need to adopt. Now you're going to run there here for my app. Now you saw money your picture na social media. You know, even though a deterrent in a bizarre sam crano, or no scared to excavator. Say what 100 in there, sponsor no share behind the scenes, you know, can employ similar 100 people to come and replace them. Because the campaign Harry, not your cra, or your politician, or your MP, or your Heneka Kraka, or on Nam Chroma audience, Sema. And our mono they are in the shadows, we know them as soft form penny form, we didn't puppet and only concessions, I'm for Gumurum, a two galam say momo, as of war, or mono Kanyamia Sam Chilenipa, they own concessions and people are doing galam say. So if the state is really serious, we must also begin to target the people in the shadows because they are the lifeblood of this distraction that is going on. We cannot be playing ostrich and say, oh, ya koche kra 100 or muton we the omoya no birukra omoni kra now. Now must koche am for who we are no ma packet. Now we no red. Now no be oti wura mo no we no what ya cry ya press conference e obeche no na fa no. No obi ono she wura me no we. Asas no what ya cry ya press conference e obeche no fa no. Nothing scares them because no he has at a different level altogether because of drugs and so forth. So whoever that is financing these things, you know, should be is the reason why America people who use drugs, you know, are more the target of the FBI anyway, Casio, by the drug pushers and the your friends and the sellers, the barons, because when you cut the supply, you end the consumer way. What I say, so the people who are financing and putting money into some of these things, we need to go after them. My bottom line is that we must get aggressive. We must begin to punish people, send that loud message out there, say, oh, you cannot steal from this country and get away with it. There are tons of people, for instance, ECG containers, and near my ECG for crime. And when it comes to crime, it's not about what this is. Yeah. So when your power and as a exercise, stupid discretion, you must be punished for that. Because do you know what that means? Because Obiti Cocoa Board, as your friend says, CEO, now who's our lose power or coffee. Na okra cocoa bottle over millions de ba begu ho emma ho contract Jessica de begu ho nim say ade we be here in the next 10 years but he doesn't care be na me CEO me power nyanye na oyes anema no na o get away with it. Don't you think it will also motivate another person to come and do the same thing? So you see the power is with us. Same democracy in the tenant in values na use no han the same thing among for their use a develop mu kuro no by indiscipline greed na ba ko for person onya na ho tamenti no. We don't even consider and watch some of these things. So my message is that the president is a good start, but we need to enhance these things and make sure, say, or hene suffer be over when him say or babe patcha wa mo be get that particular person arrested because your man boy for or hene be over small be say me patcha me what facility me na me to na okra usuro na who many be to aka so patcha you can't even come. You understand? You need to get that particular person arrested just to make sure, say, because you see we must begin to bear your friends saying responsibility is the adeba kwema Africa nye no we don't bear responsibility enti ya wan kasa woni nse wa babrabo bone ene na ama wo school sem na wa brabo aye we you don't want to bear that responsibility. You look home and hear aberwa bi asabi ne send him her to on na ya the very moment you shift responsibility to another person, then you absolve yourself of any blame. You can obetimi asel ho enti na ko prayer camp me man katachi o mo batin katin say before ya no Opa tracking 50 years on ye da because now he's not ready to take responsibilities on one no or the sabe will be what baby. What I say, and our soft way use that particular way, and I yedi Jessica Kakrado Benya no sign the bar for there, and our turn on Quenimda. So we must begin to take responsibility at the end of the panel former or he no cross to encourage to punish him. to serve as a deterrent. Say by ya, or the best BB, because we punish to deter others around. So I think that is a good start. The president engaging just to ensure that we go this particular line because you see this your friend saying old politics in the Ayache. We must begin to make people bear consequences for their own actions. Na chrono kese na air course or my muno yejai.
Solo, I have my initial purpose. Said yes, innocent.
Sir, a auditor general's report that said, "Oman Benes will share acting chief justice."
Yes.
Na Oma he kwan kron be fast track am Oma konsa wom.
Yeah.
Eno ntino ye ne say ye pese ye ko parliament na ye petition no more review sa plea bargaining law no.
Okay. Plea bargaining law.
Dem Akufo-Addo tricks ni bi no.
Yes.
And the man mo kwa mo US can send be ya wi na de bi atu be na ye be kwa ko ye
60-40.
Ye be petition parliament. Me kuta auditor general's report ha. Na ko page 324 on Ministry of Communication and Digitalization, Owusu, na no bag kasafia buche just skafwa mantem. Ono communication ministry no. Oba ya na Ghana communication ministry ni nyina okojama one company for Ascend Digital. Nigerian company bi. Ada sa Ascend Digital no oba be 3 companies. E wona se ni nyina ne dia Ascend na special you. Bako the Kennedy Village.
Okay.
Ano tam NC also more ye de more call monitoring near there. Revenue assurance or more assure that you create root and share. Wa manan so o sa company that's another criteria that can be called smart infraco. A smart infraco no tam ego on data center nita. O dey say abayu maybe akwa esi tua online omo na heso. Ana 5G no. SAS and NASA be next generation infraco or the 5G no. A country as a energy ministry no. Ghana energy communication ministry there or tama nipa bako. Now nita there no. Or sign contract with smart infraco. In fact, one farmer smart infraco straight was that come back company friend Libara. And Libara na sadi bibiama smart infraco which is move ABT again. Under the contract, now answer on best start omudumedi no so mutua $2 million at all. Before crash or best start or the month for 5 years, 2018 to 2023 and the nankomwe. Nanka fibi answer no omutua $1 million. You can 5 years omutua $6 million. Esla nat now was more muntua. Now do you believe for a woman pass or kaso mo muntua abra wono no?
Yeah, that issue came up. My account
no last week Tuesday. Now, me chese public accounts committee. Eba be discuss communication ministry. Me jade me ye bia ko hese me ko. Answer na me ko na me ti one network zuma di ka send the signal say me ba ho. Me nam kwa so kwa na send me text message say Ministry of Communication dey na was a bathroom. For strange reason no. Ya postpone till further notice. Ya made crab yo. One of the things I was say ye ko yenim no ye mra no ma ho kwan say. So obi ba bedi ko a ministry and agency enim no free so a eni se nipa na wa ba foforo ne ko ansa.
I think so. Yeah.
Ayagena Asla be minister communication. Na ne kwa kwa ansa so Sam George na me asa.
George, bi hwa de course no onim ho hwe.
And I said, director be no one you are no hono. Or answer for the previous director. Now, all my communications minister St. George, any need you know, they are not fortunate. I have my documents. Any attempt to go and whitewash Esla will be met with the greatest force on the earth. Yet to be trouble, you see, daylight robbery. And I didn't can call that the Konfo nya duane ndi mesi ebie your friends say military dia die maso abu asem obesore
we we
mesi nipa dodo a na obu a betumi interview na say we are sure so ani soja ho ase adwuma sem nti
adwuma ni ho
eye dey na yetumi nya nkofo a etumi eba bewie sika na ya glorify o mo abra say sika ye di biebie nwuma ka wonum nyina be bi every year you cover public accounts a year. Yeah. Now you make kind of try. my new ministry be a agency be an answer your friend say district be a internal auditors. And do they want to tell me say Sanyoma we cost you now no auditor or who ana accountant or another finance officer who ana now omu ya die na omye when so you move it to ACCA levels no more good professor you na more revoke or license some upon more free human it says the young to me now I'm a feeling so and Sunday about can want some abra ya di mo sisi ho na district chief executive in the heads of institutions no money ho ana obo benefit free mu ana wow how yes be area wo man no ejubo nse de bia no kromo aye ni sika so nkofo osidan kwa adwuma mu ba 1 year no ano wasidan osiwia no aba be ka kire se yenye smart omo na smart yenye smart da esa se ye nwi o man no papa mobra timentuei me sati makati me manyina se wo hu sa keno furata akufuado eni na membo nkofo no munyini na omoma be ye yi amu otu amofa mo na mo nka nche se me papa na kan se wonum na papa no ya kromfo ti mommo mutuo esan se ye ntumi nya saade we eme yenko eno na ama nkwada igu nwrebu a obufa se SK ya na om de akwa sponsor om ha na ye galamsi sangwara na ye galamsi ana galamse oso koji asase ye diska na je omuni seska na olbeje oso test excavator omuni hu akade oso oto your friend say mercury oso oto chamfine oso oto generator mabunu ye wo when the seska no oh de kwakwa esade mpeni the so called go for from honorable sia ana mo ye sa nyoman ana nyesi enimo mo ye nimo mo na je bi professor Bob what wa mo bodi na mai Tiate ho ye dey. Eya me dem mo say ya start with wuntumi die. Na me so me se wuntumi nkran. Se onum Ghana for no mo bo maka nyesa ogwa kwa nye de. Yeah. E go woni o mo na wo sa business mu. Wo de yi wo mu die e bia de kura betumi aboa ma wo sentence no ade. Se court.
Se say bra champions wo mbeli no me se ni ayekese.
Asa wo ko campaign tia no. So dia say e di wuntumi hwe honi ye se de be ya se ho mmon a ho so ze mom eye na akofom na in terms of omo ye galamse wo kromu ade nobody can convince us say ye ni mom nyina ye ni mom nyina this should be the district chief executive this should be our district chief executive we are national security NIB our every community district in this country your regional ministers your police commanders eye dey na sele koso ento mampani beyond say auditor general ne wontumi wo yiro this should be a say ne wa kan ye no ye pam DC ni keke prosecute no police commander o chinitum national security person o chino na send to the regional minister chechi wonu mu nyira because o say o mu ye man bofo complete ye ne sa yai isu aye no mu ye ntoto de chemicals wo mbebere sa isa se ye nyini ni nyina na ye ne tumi de your friend say leaves a bonsu na ya no sata na PhDs no so sata na suku wakọ uwe form 4 na osin hero ene ye nya omo abo doctor professor we ma obi kuta masters and courses and so be kobu no onka baw say yes you am on ye jimi mo hey that is how I'm saying
it democracy is ya kwaye nim no na ya ti we progress
me wa eni o mani e komo efie nyansa nkitikiti o efie nyansa nkitikiti eti anya ne sa ye mienu ye beda kom
na no na make us all that around up obete professor this doctor professor choka TV so brofo kwasi abrofo na se for kan nyina boma ye na ti hayi nothing has happened.
Yalla efi mini ye.
Yes, yalla yati hayi.
Yalla bola.
Yes. Yalla esisi da esi ebebi ensuo si na kwabra ni esi.
Ensuo to. Site we bra na ni se bra o.
Na ko mo. Professors na tons as no.
Ensuo to.
People are you consider them as educated na ko to Ramsey site.
Yes. I fancy ensuo to 30 minutes na kru na choke nti be catch us say when you are in a failed state there are no heroes. Ye nyina ya failure ho.
Of course.
So when we are double professor, when we are when what is Legon was 60 houses. O kan nyina boma. Ya na yati hayi.
And the GDP no. Give me go.
So I think we must be guided.
All right. My me for we ma 9 months of say mo chi omo na mo hwe na mo se mo bebu omo na human rights bebe mu a mo se nsuo ni bi mo nom.
No question should be the first thing.
Nsuo na mo te se na anu akobre ya mo kwachi omo wasu.
Na ka omo bo.
Oh wa saka po be se 3.
Where the bread that come one more.
Na the pan wa ka ho. Jina mo so na mo nom.
No, ya winim. Say asase no ma say no. O ma say nsase. All you have to do is for savo show mo nsam.
Mon kapa so.
Oh. For 1 week.
Oh, I didn't know why you punishing for from grass so why. Now wouldn't say nsuo no shawo fu. Now be do fe na be 3 days eh.
Okwa no aka che obusu akoso wa bobi.
What musuo?
Oh, me dey omo dey serve more do or year reclamation na I think that will be better. We be shegure 1 month na wuntua me na ba akukura nwie. Next time.
Na so jeni gira. I mean, galamsey no dey as I can be me who I don't know how to describe it but
because campaigns na nkasa nobody is touching them. Yeah.
All right, happy birthday. The way crowd they say belated, right? Belated happy birthday in Nkoma. Nali Nati, we a pharmacy tell Batiano, Batiano Nyamisha. Gift enam, ena or the way a buy or see Nyamisha na on your case.
Labia Mekase say if you go to a failed state or maya a failure or be any hoya hero. And yenina ya failure home and over the years and I think that is the kind of state you more that's around a power from TV A to TV B better professor this choka kwase abrofo na that's for okani nyina bo my results na yete ho ene yenina ya failure. And the question is the way forward no there be na say ya betimi making sure say as of mine no betimi I reclaim your old self na ya be the shining star of Africa ya na ye torch bearer ye lead the way for other African countries to learn from us that particular accolade in this kind of way no ya to atwene na ya Ghana be ye o man asabi identity cry na ye ni bibiem there is no dignity ye namu na the whole governance architecture na be ye ade amam for the pesika. Enti na wuhia akro na mabonte a the dream ni so ba be ye politician or be do politics na be pesika the sense of nationalism patriotism hwan enfo obi a ho so wo ya ade good kra na nobody even see it so ade a amanfo ya fa to am say it's a good cause let us support it. Nra me try to Facebook say wo ya akra na wo any nationalism sympathies you should know say you be nurturing that particular thing alone because nobody will care and nobody will come your way and anu na ne mu ene ye da be do abi a be do galamsey is a major challenge aye nyina ye nim say obi obaka say galamsey enye challenge na bi ni ba bia wo free ba because over the years no me say a cancer IT deep into the fabrics of our society, a destroyer to the extent and the health implications, the consequences are so overwhelming and they can be and leading to the elections. Because the first time I hear about Ukrumha economy, I the leading conversation year 2024. It was Galamsey because of the ravaging and the devastating impact na air cost. So the expectation is that things will be done differently. Sabe bit me address it. There be a mekase. Oko galamsey ya enya hiafo ne tu galamsey o nipa mu tu galamsey kroma eye ahemfo eye politicians and asofo mpanimfo and other business people
ahemfo dey say wa ba ahemfo kan say wa ye nketekete do wo tu galamsey ne ya ahemfo MPs ministers former MPs former ministers MMDCs former and current
and captain this is the reality and the matter of videos are cultural say we or maya there is one thing you cannot afford to do be say we weak and now say we show mercy so whenever it will be ultimately sense any weakness around the state you are done because man will always collect to the destructive best because naturally we are all greedy. So we will do what we do best to make money. So it is the duty of the state to make sure say galamsey be a high risk venture that nobody will even contemplate say let me go into this venture because you know the fate that awaits you. Now no Yatiana China and the former agric minister has been sentenced to death. And what na say you call agric minister or China Ona na be fro akuase tu fu se kwaku umia na yakokunu no enti obadwene ho mienu but bisasa kroma yet no punitive consequences by the wo ha sanction obi
human right
no, it's not about human right. Those sanctions are not there, so there is enough motivation for people to do some of these things. And there are people who feel that, for instance, not being a Professor from Pomwating report. Go and look at the names in it. High profile individuals, have been to parliament. And if these people have been left off the hook, nobody is prosecuting them. And obviously, don't do things that now, from Professor from Pomwating report, ya fananka ya prosecuting the panel who say, as soon as you go jail for 5 years, we go jail for 10 years, then you put seriousness in this whole thing. Sure. You understand? But because nobody is being punished, I am normal. Me waban we Miss Margins, me tetakwa baby, Miss Masasi, the MP for your pomo from Miss Mekwa jail to because Miss Maban Aba. What are seven American? So I think that the approach, and because of anything, is because we don't punish. And people think, oh, a free day, when I do it, I'll get away with it. And that is why I am calling, that the punitive sanctions must be so overwhelming to the extent that I bet me scare people. For instance, there is no single land that can hire any ownership. Opa says, baby. Now, says, we sit down. 3 days after, I'm not for catch us Milan. So it means every single land is owned by somebody.
That's right.
So Okona assassino, yeah, the Galamsea, a owner. So even say you trace and look for the owner.
Exactly.
So you punish the person and confiscate the land. The land automatically becomes a state land. You lose ownership. These are some of the radical measures that you need to employ just to ensure that enter all your henna. Now, or the more be some fine illegal mining. A be free in sa yaje, ya be see prosecutor home. So I know the day or the more be or bedwin whom you know. A man for crab from Woodham, I say, I'll be na massa, then you shift responsibility to the chiefs and the owners of the land. You understand? And these are some of the measures I say, now fay or more hiding behind my buying aba. And a power from above, power from above, order from above, no those kind of nonsense, I think there must be that blunt statement out there. Say you don't go anywhere. It's the way a police be banal says or the power from order from above. The first thing you do is you slap the person. Because near man na edi aye ye ho a ne power is order from above among for the gunguro mu disansem hunu no. There was a time na no na meti se obi se na ye wo presidency forest our western region. Abronya na oka presidency forest o na ye gum na ye tu president soldier ni nko police ni nko ye tu gold the abraban. And these are nema egu ho we can prosecute these people and make sure say you scare people because I have come to the realization say nipa dasani ye very nyame body nyina de ni hu wom ye nipa.
So any the says
so black people yeah dangerous thing nyina. Whenever you allow us trust me obekwana papa panyini na bed. I'm telling you. So always you need to create a very radical measures. Many people who say, "Me ya dear we these are the sanctions." But why yes I never no create that free room now? Why them pesika? Say madre say me galam say the manya sikana say me yena sa no the day obi anya me hwe I don't know what do you have to do nya sikana for honkobo political party and now media for start bribing them or make be amount. The issue will die. You understand? So be this whole talk no. Is good, yes, in the spirit of that your friends governance and dialogue is good to engage, listen to people, and you put them to good use in as a forum. And Rabi Hunaimos, they are doing operations in as a forum. Yes, government, we can't sit here and say government and they have demonstrated willingness and commitment, say indeed they will do certain things are namos ne other way some confiscation but who land minister all over he's on the in the bush or also here the obey but me dey say the year nyina say resource be free ma ba we need to rise to the occasion and begin to punish people. Captain Smart to galam say kurana waso mo kogu nguram no ye chi omo ye ba be fawo a prosecute aka kira man for say Captain Smart no to galam say oh ya kwa ya jail 5 years
me to galam say
enti me woni so to bia enti woni galam say enti
to be that
so we yes anema we ya captain and na beti ya scare na ya make sure say these are red lines and I say no go area
example no make it yes I want to be here to me.
Exactly. So for instance, look at to me. This is a gentleman on a forest and wafawo and I was chama man for but some so not the pen paper namoso my percentage gold no me say these are clear evidence and Professor Frimpong what he made it quite clear in his report. You say reports which challenge so the question is say you see a fight galamsey a fight ben a chance I will punish nipa. Why are those reports sitting there? Attorney General said, but to me is not the only person.
Oh, yes.
I know you're involved in Galamsey. There are several people out there. Ebinim to the parliament and among for the Galamsey sika to parliament. So there is enough motivation. Kromano, kwambia for so you can buy everybody. You can buy judges, you can buy police, you can buy politicians, and we have made the system monetizing to the extent that we need sika as I also name for and people who get money we worship them. It doesn't matter what they did to get that particular money. So I think President has shown commitment. So, but me, I think, you see, Adeba so rise to the occasion, become very radical because I wouldn't black people, they are one trauma so we're near there. So they will capitalize on weakness and some of these things, and they will click to their destructive best. So, the best approach to fighting this Galamsey is to start this nationwide prosecution. And again, the Attorney General Department may be overwhelmed. My question is, if we really want to get serious in this country, let us decentralize that particular office and get regional offices, staff it with people so that prosecution can start everywhere. You don't need to be one Attorney General sitting in Accra. Our case is 1,000 and that's focus. So let us decentralize. So
original.
How effective are they? How effective are because every single document comes here. You understand? And it will take years and time to do so. By 4 years, we didn't prosecute even 10 cases. Because you need to study the docket. The bottom line is prosecution. Just to send a loud message out there. And I think sometimes the hypocrisy and those kind of stuff are enough. I saw for ya sorry eto aye yi wure kwagina wuram say ye bom paye to Galamsey na wo mo dama ye fence captain by photo Galamsey by photo one supposed to Galamsey that nipa da sani ne to Galamsey so empire aspect na dey free fan what I said at the time we were supposed to look people in the face and tell them to stop the nonsense but we didn't. We were singing hallelujah in the bush. She said I don't ever stop Galamsey. Here we are. Was it not the same people and I know sound like what na Jubilee House that I see can so what has then answer. So I think the best person to fight this is the president. The best approach for me, is to be radical, very ruthless in this approach because it's one thing away Obiaba support you. So what can prosecute people on Galamsey? You enjoy tacit approval of every single Ghanaian because when we look around, I've been at the hospital and I know how this thing is destroying people. Captain, I say Oko hospital know who about for more kidney diseases, liver diseases, and that's for we young best show pregnancy. They no more can say you find it metals and that's for and no crowd there side show. Me say go there and look at even breast cancer. Then that's for a month for one day. I'll go to Kolebu. Oko surgical unit, two. Ura na koko ha there a ma muguo. Sabi obi e twa enough back. Just a scene here very nasty. Omo can see a video. But one day when you go there, what we wouldn't mean did that. These are the realities, you understand? So I think I don't admire that particular energy to go after people. Some of these fights, the approach must be very uniform, very radical. Now you go after who? And the way we are politicizing it, I'm not him for no mutu one from one deal. Minimum suffer more concession, and what are we talking about? So let us target these big people, the business people who are sponsoring people to aid and abet in some of these crimes. If we target them, Rolling Stam, yes, I say chase a man from Bush. How many years in the 89? Then I said for basing there. Where are we going as a country? That's why I'm telling you, it's a brofo, because a brofo TV is not panning over about 30 years in the nothing has changed. And so it means we have all failed. That is why I believe, sir, we need to adopt different measures. This is a government that is ready to listen to Ghanaians, to engage and take action. So the question is, let us take it to a different level. Now you're making sure, reports be available, must be prosecuted. Whoever has been mentioned, whoever has been cited, they tracing who the real owner. They have owners who. The very people who own these things, are sitting in churches preaching Sundays to church members. Some are big men running businesses. Some are in parliament. The people who own this, Mr. Asofom Penimform, I talk you know them, I know them. So why are we not going after this thing and playing ostrich as if say Nippon Mutu Galamse free China and Mobabetu, and even the Chinese who are coming?
Yeah.
Now I was shocked. You're so called Western region, everywhere be Chinatown.
The China City.
China City. China for to be back Kroma Kwashe forest medal. Now oil you say almost stall your friends fuel for over bear something tankers a fuel station you know how Modia Galamse. Now it's China who yet. We need to get serious, you understand? So and I'm even in prosecuting some of these things, you don't even do it quietly, because you see the whole essence of way a deterrence in the fight against way. Deterrence is key. So you need to make people see what is happening every step of the way. Some are Lucius in China, some in China say, "Hey, I go to Galamse, when you are there, what I say." But sometimes people come out with weird. We got to a time I say, "Yeah, China no to Galamse in the port somebody call you Krum." Look at this madness. You understand? So, Captain, me, I'm sure we shouldn't give up, because if you give up, we are not only failing ourselves, but we are failing the generation yet to come. Besides, land the band we cannot sit here and prioritize individual greed over their collective welfare as people and the landers ubiquity to the generation yet to come. Let us be together in this particular fight and make sure we go all out, because my culture Galamse should be seen as a criminal enterprise, and whoever that is seen should be designated as a criminal. And dealing with criminals, you have to be very ruthless. You don't have to go easy on them. But anyasa na se akasa 40 years to come, we will still be here, and the greedy people will get greedier, and those of us are almost sense as in so will get worse. The last time, water turbidity level as of January, NDC taking over. It's supposed normal level supposed to be 0 to 0 to 500. But January near now over best 6,000 to 12,000. And I Ghana water company catch us say, pumping no quite to pumping so no. What I say, it tells you the kind of danger we are in as people. So when the call comes like this, it tells you how concerned every Ghanaian is. And I like government, I am ready to listen to people to engage. But me, my advice to President Mahama is he has to be very radical, very ruthless, and go all out. It doesn't matter who is in. Just be ruthless and go after everybody.
Ralph. Omumi numponi na o.
Asam na Ivan akaninia, but Metonia no. My dear meet Ivan. You see, Captain, any Ghana for 18 years say Ghana for ye nya chumudodo. Ye level of hypocrisy wo krom ya no. Fellow Ghanaians, Captain, in the less than 9 months, Nipa Bimwatinasiyehu, the deterioration level of Galamsey and the effect what Nipani or Ghana Hanaso. Now you see, me, I'm one person I was never part of the people who are advocating for state of emergency. I was campaigning for leadership to rise up and use the constitution, the laws, the powers to exercise and lead the people. Now, one of the president I still love and I will continue to love, with one statement he made. But let's be citizens. Citizens are not spectators. Citizens are not subjects. Indeed, we need to be citizens. Captain, yet obi Korea ponche and then so obi Korea ponche near China, we are arresting the person on the basis of criminality. And I'm a son and nipe bisua ono akwa say asase ana wako say nsuo no ono so watu o minor mra which is a criminal offense as well. Adentina sa nipa ne de yen se dan set committee yen ko hu obi yen ko sia unipa yen ko tenase. See, ye di agro wo man mu yanom, and sometimes I feel the pain within. Galamsey nipa dodo sen ene yen tina o Galamsey nkum. Apart from enkola enya issues out of the effect of Galamsey directly no. Galamsey menkai ne busuafo yaw menkai na nyonkofo yaw. The same Galamsey ya de ku Mejo Mahama. The same Galamsey enreti nipa 8 ewu. Helicopter na kobo ompo de say betumi atofofro, because the modern type of that Z9 no less than $10 million. It's betumi atofofro, but one life is worthless. Ya train nipa 8. Oh no, John Dramani Mahama ye president in there. Ni twetwom twopa e ba akoka. What are you waiting for, Mr. President? What I mean, Satamel se fa ne se ne running mate ninti or the kakra poni mi hu abotra ne do so do minim se wona nkoko di fada wo e na yan fa no se na o ko di sofo e na yan fa no minim yes you Jo Mahama no minim ase sofo sem woni mu dodo. No wonder say obedi president the first 2 months na ya soleko asidaye enunko. We have gotten to the time they need to recognize their founder of their party, no, and know what he stood for. And radicalism, we need to be very straight with ourselves, rise up upon all odds and say enough is enough. Yeah. How many people are we going to wait to lose and sanya soliakasa? And na me di nkomobi. Na nipa ni raise concerns. Captain uko USA. Enuane a free a good shop siman ko photo di no. You can identify say aduane we, body we, potato we, a free Jamaica neighbor, we free ha neighbor, we fia neighbor anameboa. Me pa chaw ye last fufu e kwatena atwoba bi di ye say aduane no e free e kuro so ne bai. Banchi a edi wo fufu, tomatoes aye kraba, jena ye de ye nnuane amaye no, efri infa na eba. Nti how can you even identify say we efri Galamsey kro we mu na eba na aye contaminated and answer ye contaminated? Nobody is checking. Ye nia ye hwe insuo no na ye nya nipa eno Ivan kan ho asem. Ye nya nipa kwatena president enim. Se biota fracha nya obi a nya president enim efutuo ne da okonya no so obekasa. Oh, President, when we look at the index and the contamination level upon the research that has been made by the Brofo, we are doing well, pa. Na me pacho doing well. In so ya wa wo ka se doing well. Ya the man se fe bi dwale ya, obetumi di dwale. Ya the man se former okraman wo fia, obetumi di amano. And one of the things that people keep saying, sometimes I sit back and I'm like, inti ye pese abai we faili president ni faili John Mahama reputation be no di kofie ye kan wo ka se o ya de pa na wo tire exams na se wo twa 10 se wo twa wo na so we faili abai ba power ye say all my license bia so bia fentu Galamsey. One of the things are what amai bebre mo omutumi tu pompa traceability, how they are able to trace and no more be almost resolve it. So when we come to the Galamsey effect now, one interesting way. Exactly. Why na time men put a who say every way na didn't start ye pa na mre start ye no forex XYZ and ye to me same pa why na na ye adwuma wom yanko hwom because in the captain enkoma ekoso pa no oh Galamsey na jinsem aban we ba ye aban yate. One of the people I will always stand up for and recommend Erastu Sasaridonko. He has done astutely well in the fight against Galamsey. Or upe obi a obetumi aboaye forester yedi hwan mu ne ko se mu ye ebrebe ya oka ho obetumi ama bi o man peyi John Dramani Mahama nto ne nsamfre no Flagstaff House wo abranti ebra betena se forest way ebrebe na ye ko ye eduma wo hwan mu na na ewom no monko form mbra yes say crime does not expire
report na akura dada
ebi ho ebi ompe
there be report na the ministry ho eda ho
into omuni No, so indirectly, no, Chomana Mekano, and wow. And at the end of the day, Captain, may come a last court when I was reminded for this same Galamsey fight. Me mama prenti atade bi breme. Na asema bi twirogu mu no, me yesu say judge ne betene edwemu no. Ohun say me kasa chele no. That is either we speak up now or the future awaits us all. Adie na ebobo ba na yedi agro te say hwinsi ye no bibi siba na ye twenya na ade a de bia meten say o man peyi kan say when it gets to the time of declaring the state of emergency I will do it. O man peyi, I am not one person that will subscribe to the state of emergency. I am someone that is subscribing to the fact that we have soldiers, we have police officers that are willing, in fact, Captain, who stood you have yeah, my police phone bonga countless of times and mefa unko. Oh. Come on, now we don't need to phone bonga go phone call. Let's stop this hypocrisy. There are certain young men in this country, even in your government, and remember Bakudi, Mustafa Bandi, one of the people, Semana no, yeah, man, wo kromuya. So Owusu, na jine da tribunal ya komana mi hu se oyo de kasa no e de ye eduma. Ansha nkofo bi mu ho no ma. 2028 in point 2 omo, not to talk of yes ye ba no. Now Ghana na ye say, let everybody fail. Let me come and replace and do you the same. Enti say Galamsey na ni etu a mosoma ba mosomo meyebi we mosoba mosomo nkobisi na yete man ni mu na se biota frache enyomafo ni nyomebufu ene minu yika say ye the tracker bi aba ene the boys cabates ho na ye nim de ye tu Galamsey no na se wan fa nkwa nkotu a chairman ohu amune ye da TV so ye hwe
we etware nra o ye twa we nra
nipo okotwa sa video
ye twa nra
Captain Mohamo. Ye che. Since ya de so mo ye ne say. Omo nsesa mmebunu no na ade ba ko ye me ya ne say. Yet my mu a police for omo ye willing to fight Galamsey. Ye mfo mo nko. A soldier for ye mfo mo nko. E na ye say ye training ko for ye from blue water guard. Na police for ni a soldier for and to me as stop ko blue water guard for. Mo fo mo ntrefie na nka sisi we amure ya Captain mu ko twa yi. Nanka ya the boys no yakọ ne nam wa na omu ye adwuma no excavator operator da ya so mu boys na mo be ye washing ya so mu say ye se campaign for no ene enkoche campaign no so ye hu no na campaign no so ma hwan osoma agbo ye odira no mu nim no o de captain me ba say campaign ye nim no enso ye gu ye ne egusi ye nim no ene ye de abrantie ye on che ni kai ene de ye wa bo ne Chelsea Jesse odijira hui akwa si amunanim ye ba pene ya ma savon now muna na excavator 2 ye no ye de wagina no se fele na wa se wutu na wa beti start se emu hyehyewa uni a o hwe bi be ka children se ke de wa sisi a ye di discipline go for uni sa muna na ye ma shabu no mo de fele isa ene na me nko site o etra me nko campaign ne friend na tale mo nko ye dwuma be de etra be ye won no e betwam go time video a soldier for na kwache nko for na ye mo fele amuna no me nko onko o meko o ni e chewa ye no akoginibi
ade no Galamsey amena no empedo do se na munkum nipa
sele omoko
awo hwe
chairman enu nti na enye adwuma nti na omoko e scanning ntia obi obeka cho say people who are doing Galamsey bia no as a result of joblessness no captain nipo to me clear excavator excavator baako auto cat metumi amount cat over $120,000 $150,000 auto sanu friend say KSLO said man cat those machines in India no any hygiene sanitary those machines in India they never wear fukura wom no enye less than $90,000 me pacho plow yet on saying plow ye de plow asase ene tiotla ne da agrek fo ni mubo mai into those machines e die fu nia no commercial farming ene de tia no mo be ye one agrek hub bi ye friend say exhibition bi o friend say parliament house ni mo da na conference center o Almost agree kenyoma water sprinklers and idea to me the industrial farming. Now so much to me akoto excavator $120,000, $150,000. Untumi koto da machine no. Nti nkamu ntobi. Na nka se ekuro de ye dwumanti e na omo ye galamsey dia asase ne gold nko ane wom. Sa asase no so yesa dudua bode mane yi. Ye dudua banche mane yi. Banken adenti ne yemfa nye no se ye dwumanti na mo se mo ya. Na nka mbebunu na omunye adwuma anye no yemfa saa same asase no yemfa nua banche yemfa nua bode captain. One of the things are in there sika bemu pa banchifuo adenti ne yemfa saa asase no yemfa nua banche na sika ni bri enti ena because of mine no indiscipline any lack of patriotism na pay for no more no patriotism no how often do they even exhibit it into the wa say no nkonkoye onye it is hard time that if yeyemu yempe infoni edi omusi no so mo nya yeyemu su nipa na den yeyi captain eno na wo kokape yesi o da bi aban ba ku no twemu ni de na wo frɛ sa aban ne nye enne de wo frɛ se nipa na nye because as you go forward in life you re-strategize yourself and you build the different things that eventually am achieve whatever you want to achieve in life. Now gone are the days your frɛ president ejaya na enjoy enne your frɛ president ejaya na enjoy at the end of the day Omo omudi Ghana so no. Omo ye 0.1% of the population of this country. Na ye mo bebrebe no. Ye bia ye tikronim. Ene ye ka se omo ntumi nsobe, omo ntumi na bebre. Ketwa ni ntumi nsobe, ye so bebre no so ye den.
Bebre ni ye ni tumi no.
Chairman, captain. Wo ye sure say kuru. Se makola ni maame no. Enim se aduane a wo di. Ede ne bekwa akwa say Ivan nsem a entumi nye ne hwee a obegu because of the effect of galamsey a ena o jai ne banche ne board ye no ma ye nia ya tiegu maka say president enough is enough na ye hu asemesi bi na ye hu obinti bi na hu say no we de anya ndisi sem na we anya mpp sem e so man no edu be bi a enibiri aba official president be bi afa wa na onye enu free wa make asem wey ebra nansi demonstration aye no galamsey e man comfort twen mabo so right ye wa himfo mpanyimfo bi okrom ya no ma sebi otafra che sebi eburu oman no se ye yi a president fofiri wa omumpo no ye bu bi mu se omo ya akendi fortune president ana meboa ahimfo akese o na se sai ahimfo akese no etumi etena se kasa e mo manfo tia omo kasa cha president for aba omo ba beba eni omo mabakọ emo omo tia adentina ebredu se yemu nipa ne yakoa na enye yi a nananom so mfama no ntum bi maye na nananom na so kanu aka ne sen ebi musu jinijinim na nanse wolentim butu na ne ho ye fise cham. I am equally calling on the president, the national security boss, captain. Ulim say recently mama ya chia soldier form yenu bi me hu say that story na trend. I got hold of the videos Monday na issue ni see no a soldier form ni bi nam nwure mu a omo national security din enam attack nkofo e wo site e ko gigiska wo mo ye wa posifu a omo so santade to Ghana police pickups e bi ko nwurem in the name of fighting galamsey no omo so ko gigiska e na ye ka no se ye chiu se why you say na bosome so na waketua anso na emom 1000 cedis a wo call site a de ma abeso de a na ya je watade no na kɔ ye galamsey eno eda buam yetumi akoko no because ekuna yentumi nkono ba ko pa ye security for de omo kono omo kope no wakoje kakra na o peyini na nkasa kra je kese wo soro me na mtena masa me dan sika kra me ntumi ntua ya mpa so ntumi ntua because ye give me 2 years advance enti okomure mu wono ma bibi ni we si ni kwan se onko no onko kanje se masa aban se metemumla odu wa na campaign afre no masa mame ne nkasa owen aban enye problem me sira mo mema me boys no na aban ti we onu ohun sika bondre bom a che papa wo hwe na time de ye ne hyi wese no the way a balance no ayese na adwene enti na dwene ni ya tia sikana no ohu ehọ na ne ya peka kradi ama no oje a munye modwuma de obeba nso ba na obehu a no no be chemo a no wa chemo no no soko nti obi e pre ono nko no ho enye oman no aban fa de nan sifum a police fo a ya tie omo a police fo a ya bo omo di so makogiska no ya nwuro omo ntade eno nye the first fight afi se me ko mu dem won ma minim se me kodam kojo obi 1 cedi a anhwe nam so e betumi yi me na afi yenhwe so mo starting chinkesefo na omu mu na ya mo kwan na omu nye dwuma
ye be declare be say high security zone and at the same place in the say state of emergency that so difference be empower na wo
state of emergency no ko yamra no ma your friend is saying circumstances ne kwan ya for so you declare and a whole lot of implications. So in relation to this galamsey, the thing is that
no the person which state of emergency in many
state of emergency near certain your friend saying executive powers be a constitutional edema president say for instance what na your friend saying obi aba attack that kind of way no within that short period no president that emergency powers or declare that state of emergency your friend saying virtually the country will become like a police state. What I say if you say individual then from an opakusi way that kind of shifting your friend saying authoritative powers in a president one. But security zone there, just like your friend is saying, a Jubilee House area, for some security reasons, you know, you person nipa a share and some baby a share. So trespassing is one key thing. You don't trespass because that particular area is a security zone. So or declare galamsey area say a security zone. It means that you as an ordinary person you have no power to trespass. So the effect, you know, is almost the same thing. So like a water area, don't trespass, don't go there because that particular zone is a security zone. You don't go close. And then last I don't want the petition come I'm for Jubilee House. I'm catch us your friends a whole security zone. You called it out. You can't go there. And it will have the same effect. A security zone don't go there. But maybe I say, Captain, say. Nipa no enye na dwen say obejai de oye na opa declare state of disaster still obeko. Opa declare the state of disaster, they will still go. Me, that be a catcher say our behavior and it's like say oh na say bra we socks. Oba ho we socks ni fini taro na say. Let us use the right approach and the right method and make sure say we stop this particular thing. We send message. And some arrive kind they make kind the way kind ye nyina the common point are punitive sanctions. People end up getting away with it. So at the end of the day, you know, you're making a high risk venture. A man for a new motivation to go there. But Kroman Emranya Juma, I am to Kroma say, oh, the diamond higher. You can't take more than 6 months. But what do we see? Go and check if the land owner be Kroma and I say house owner be Kroma. Even 1 year, miss 1 year, a bit 3 years, or bit 4 years. I can't say we need to stop some of these things. Because as somehow okay, most of the young people know Mugunga will be on a rent in Tiao or so. Because yeah, 3 years advance, nobody is or intervening, interceding on anybody's because power number. Now, when I'm Kroma there, Lexus 2025 Abu Okroma, America crowd bet me the whole of we be. But Abu Okroma say we are seeking power for comfort, just to enrich ourselves and the few people around our friends and cronies. And the partner and run out and hello, who are Bobby Kraman because and he's at a different level. But power is meant to make impact. The most pressing society problems, and that is why you avail your mind, explore other alternatives because resources has been given to you to address it. But if the problems of Africa continue to grow whilst we are still in power, then as well, it means that we have all failed as people. And it's the reason why our software comes in. Yes, they don't have executive and authority power, but they wield the influence. That is why the last time I was so very angry when two big chiefs in this country were fighting among themselves. I said the power you wield, you can use it to do something positive. To do something positive, you don't need to waste time fighting over then I mean an buyer. What an buyer for be home. That my one and free one the better as me and family home. The man say Nema Beko Yama young people and ya Jumaya. Oko Sirima and Kramaya no Mobabetre Kumas Beswakaya yeno or more life be ye Nanyaman and Anna yes you and Naba free but family home and I find it come by and I met Wilson and Wales and say Munumia and the me say let's use the power and the influence we have to make positive impact on people. Unam Kroma and Krama with future. The last time we came Nungwa, a crab by a be or tea monha or tona who had a name you see said this lady is a very beautiful girl. But we have na say now we a more na ote ho. Sa nipa we nye opportunity a ebi anka nya ho na ote. What I say? That is what we need to use power to do. But ya kasesem ne sa nkwasi asem no nya car, onya sika na oto car man girlfriend. That kind of way when the money is meant for poor people. And I know yet na NLA issue by sika yesi am famu ahia for ne nkrade na se for no nipa chiche sika na ba obo. And yet it's all over. Now number 3 the scholarship secretariat documents begu ha. What is it will be crack and say? What I say? So your problem your my mohano, I say we are not ready to punish. Elsewhere they punish. Now we call other countries president kwa kwada prison. The last time I South Korea say man president now tese na no ma pam no. Na
Donald Trump no man twin nsamanku.
Yes. South Korea president knows o ma pam no na o mo beto abayi foforo. O president no ko say declares emergency powers the whole ensemble by. O mo yinadi. O ma sakre man ko fie. That is what we need to do. You understand? Me say power na with us the people, but we don't value humans. We don't value the resources that we have because like Africa value in Krofua and Kanye Hana your captain among all the Nipa we are seeing Africa when it comes to natural resources they're the richest, the most valuable human resource. Niger one of the populous youthful population more Niger fertility rate somewhere around 7.1 and as for young people are there. Then ubesi o na crack to na opia na de so to na de na 21 year no to da de akwa when we see those things we see yes yehuni normal but these are people with potential onya kwan kwatra France anke bia okobo national team but we see it lightly. You understand? Let us use power and as of for mo na hia 40 sorry them Monday to Sunday no they don't even care. It's about making money. No ban Rolls Royce. I want to know about catcher. Sorry, my Minister of Mama called France. Kwasia Samsa. Here for the team. What I say? Yes. What I say? So I think we must begin to use power to influence, to motivate and impact people positively. Because I believe in building nipa. Build your mind. But one building nipa now build their dining as a form. Your friends say empty way so when America started, they started investing in their own people. Individuals got the freedom to exploit, experiment, did whole lot of great things. Individuals sat down and they came out with these innovative ideas. Power cry and now cocaine USA, you do like to Kumasa, they don't even have power. But that be
Ivan, Umudu circular. Overhead Nasi baby fire service one. Traffic light is you. I say a Buddha from Nipe Temu Hokoba. Can University 40 ya? Any day here, you Mebune and you move Ghana, so I'm quite now that mass and science quiz, you know. A young Colania, the only day Ghana. The Yenimani Yako HB plus S QS. Correct for 3 points. And after all this, you know, chemical, whatever, and all the scientific
simplifier, the NSA. I have to.
Oh man, Ghana.
The calculation of calculus x by 4 minus 6 by 2. Factorized by the 15 people that went into the sound. We want you to find the x of the number of people who were able to travel.
6.
For 3 points.
But Captain William, it's also tell you, sir, they are very smart and very intelligent because you do that thing is for mental exploration. And Nipana what me yesterday within a short period, no, you should be proud of that person and make sure that a lot of stuff. What I say? That is what it means.
Secondary school say I'm no say Charles factual letter when was our letter no. Say Sika say they call ye math and science quiz no. Abayin fan by into this year. We are sorry, we won't be here.
Okay.
Into hangi.
But with him, multinational companies no more big MTN as a phone.
Almost sponsored.
Almost sponsored. Yes. No, it's about your priority as a country. You don't see that as a priority. The last time I catch Obi Silekins one for such will be your friends a first class at University of Ghana. Because nobody will even call you and congratulate you.
And I will put a first class. First class.
No, so we don't recognize those things.
First class.
Exactly. We will talk about what I say. At the end of the day, what is the message you are sending to young people at school? He says, I know, a crack in the brain. What is the end? Because at the end of the day, if they are rewarding people for appointment as well, they're not looking at whether you are brilliant, intelligent. It's about who you are, your godfather, the kind of influence and so forth. That is why we are here today.
We live in a city. You appointed ministers of state, CEOs. In fact, say appointed as a nipa bia as a baby. I can't say before answer na wo ba be bo nua. Now wo baby. Time a wo ba no, you sat down, had a clear plan for what you are going to do at the right? Yes, because what the who be
na for. And now mote apetition ba counter chairs no so. Na wa tintin na wo ko ba person do ko for the ko for the no man san no. And be the somehow. Ela Michelle Blue na mbeshe obuntem na me to wale me Facebook no now the patre na ehwe wo the patre na ehwe na fiata go na ehwe bi na adwa so hwe na me say ba ko boyfriend na ndi kunu so ti ba bi na ono so hwe nti o me yetre me mbeka ho na eye nipa bi beka ho na eye 4 yeso na yenya 90 views me pie ha no start so mo bob se ba na do nua ya de o ye views yes yenya 90 si Yesu Kristo mawu 90 yeah,
leadership.
And the idea was that for Mutumrika, irrespective of the Obiabeka, and if you are not here to inform me, you come as a man ye. My teaching, na ye call, na ye namha captain. We don't do it like this. When I'm saying if you don't do it like this way, this is how I want to do it. I want the results. Na ye call, na ye chumun samanko, na ye media commission for the letter bar, na we the krata fiamba. Me minim the debit was a strategy.
Plan.
Bam.
You are talking about
and in
plan. It's even president. Appoint will say, Banabeye a minister, Banabeye CEO. You
gotta have a plan
as an individual.
Plan say
or plan how they babaya because before how would you know? Unam Kroma who problems you know. And you say to yourself, me pa minya pass and the miya, minya pass and the miya. And when you have the opportunity, what do you use it for? Oh, you name any honorable. In the one fancy one friend Captain Smart. Hey, my friend, you don't call honorable like that. Honorable Captain Smart.
And people did actually cry and who is she?
Like you, I don't.
And you know when friends I know.
Captain, and I'm remembering the minister again. I will continue to be on the Greater Accra minister every day.
Everybody here.
Greater Accra minister.
Okay. Your host is here.
Oba yo host is here. And you on the 120 days will come here. So best so light 1 year. And then me to me man Greater Accra. Baby be a light so every street light me to me on the account. From Flagstaff House to a friend say ayi me nsa. And I say Pediase Lodge. Me to me on street light so near. Captain ne 120 days no upon one empa ho recently me hu say
9 months na 120 days
or say your friend is saying MMDC is for say wa wan ye wadwuma ye no are you doing your job yourself Mr. Minister ekroma ye fi today when every good leader and a visionary thinking civilized leader should be bringing on board the bastard boys any certain young people say no what do you think we can do any day here no what the man nam Kenya your friends in Ethiopia. Who should the media now a daka kwan mu no? The way I get dear flowers woman na ya kono. It's ye die. Ye nim nyansa bia ye de buru de kro.
Kewo. Minister say
Lord of mercy man.
Appointees ne ba ko so tu kan no ko no ko hu say ye dua cane palm trees or Australia. Tiu. Or DC kura. Not in China or Kawan Crawford.
To make sure that
so when di Amakofi Buechi and Australia, Cortigana, when who came palm that say you many free.
We leave office.
Inti Wakwaba Fin Wakusiana, who say you came palm flowers or any flowers.
Na say no empaso bi.
Enti eno na obedua. Na
you see, asema captain okay. Diplomatic passport.
Yeah, that was President John Mahama.
Yeah, I think that is a laudable way. But Alaska before I because my menka say and then Friday we've been doing this thing for how many years?
Hey,
I check. Yeah, so I'm taking a leave, Kakrabi.
You are taking a leave?
Yes. And maybe I'll bet me can be now. I check a crap. Because I say, oh, we are Juba so home.
I took leave.
Yeah, so I have to. Me say me come chica crana me away. Nti say atie for antemen kan nya report. Ambush you on.
Wait there.
Yes, it's
okay.
It's an ambush, so I think so right. I just have to do 1 2 1 2 be behind the scenes and things. I want to men can stand here, but eventually in the future we will meet again.
Right. We're futuristic, we're power.
Easy.
Right.
So Alaska, my men can say Auditor General Reporter, ya kan ho asem da bia yi. Ababa ye ade a unhu se. Ya hwehwem ni na ye anase ya hwehwem na ye. Abaya ade hange ye neck.
Albatross.
Because every year bia ba he the book kakraka ba. Na ya keka mu nsem amanfo kotena public account committee ni bi se o manase ye di o man na ho fewo. Ena na anokolebu fo kotena o hwe ne mahunu ni ne mahie be dead. Na ya kan na ende hwa no prosecution. So I don't know the question is what is the essence of sitting behind those? And you see, the funny aspect of this whole thing is that the very moment I got to committee no, I said, we in Yansa, 14 you'll be out. We are say, oh, we nipa na or trend last week. We need to crow. Woman be a friend, honorable Abena as or say Asare from Ashanti region. Oh, just we are seeing Yansa, you know, question on the bisa. And a microphone or say the kicking or to my room is on a kind of forata no motor finance minister
of the Ashanti region of Eastern region. Okay, I am member of parliament.
Okay,
I was at higher at West. Yes, or at one so yes.
Question now, Bisano. I say, Kwame Nkrumah na didn't buy. No, I say Ghana hot dog when you went to Omra no bisa. But this same person can for that no motor finance ministry.
No, I deputy finance minister.
On my boy, on my board from no, she was part of it. On my anya economy boom come fast no, she was part of it. But kwatena committee na nim na otie mu bisa am for question na so for I say. That is in the question some public show be na yet na ye. You don't see any seriousness on anybody's part. Yansa charge you be so betia nothing happens. And people within the public sector. We see I can't corruption in our home. A man for pinu or mind to politicians. Makacho say society na ye woman is so corrupt to the core. So it doesn't matter. The only difference is a politician no access to big money. So when the corruption happens there is big. But more access to small money, no, they are also equally as corrupt as those at the top. But only the difference is that the money, no, anyway, and not quite sorry there, corruption, malam soa, corrupt baby, every facet of our society is so morally corrupt to the extent, say, the moral fabric of our society. No,
I am member of parliament, Etiwa East.
Exactly.
Abuna or say, Asari.
Yes, bisa question, I say. And run out more money break from heaven. And run or break jail from heaven. And with good intention. And I said, why on the can of
I saw Dormai
Ghana and the Sinipa be that. But on the can of Forata no more finance ministry. All the various silly decisions I call some of mine will bought for my a man for there before got about 2 Kufu. She was part of it. What I say? So I think that is good because the same way. For the past 5 years in here, that is what I've been saying. There is no sense. You can afford the general book, kakrakaba to her. Not your kind, nothing, and free mumba. And say, yeah, Baby, making sure, say, expeditiously, no, you be prosecuting individuals. Yes, I near my way. That's the way to go. My catcher say, whenever you are dealing with black people, now what took consequences and sanctions away, there is nothing that you do about survival. And that's how be successful. Point out the consequences to the person. Say, what you call lebu? We a CEO. or see me to 13th month salary. Kolebunu nyoma me de nyo papa de. So but to 13th month salary, it must be in line with law.
Exactly.
Notify the various structures no way ahead of you. But where there controllers to wait to your man for.
Serious.
And the system, no, how integrated is the system? How robust is the system? And a man for taking advantage of the weak framework and the structures in our no, doing things their way. At the end of the day, the ultimate sufferer near the ordinary people on the ground. What I say. So I think it's a bold move. I am making sure say Auditor General report no yan tenase ma finchia na yasesa gun kratam Alaska yen take corrective measures at the various departments and agencies no na yen making sure say as they happen we tackle them. Say obi to hospital baby no go take a decision. Na decision no owie ya so ne panchi e wo ha yen making sure say consequences no wo ha Alaska yen metenase ma finchia na me mete ahoto na wo hu se mi wiasika na obi ayi nani afisia de beba report mu a afi be sia no bia mayeye.
That's right.
And afisia na bi ni ha de na ba so we tie some of the report and individuals obetimi gi salary a obahwehwe do ne otu kwan
na ade e yakura ni say wo mu kura ma cost blanda na enye wo no better public accounts committee anymore.
Yes Alaska nipa na ye fa nsan onu wo wu a ye tua ne salary no bisa nsa hwan na kwaji sika no na hwan na verify no
that's right.
Na controller so hwan na otua sika na dia ma no in the system na ye wo no we are unable to check whether Alaska is at post and nsam na ya already nsam na ya kind of try na ya to atwe no I'm asking you say
okay
my culture say if you go to the various workplaces Ghana ha say aban workers 1 million na omo ye adwuma enuru 600,000.
It is true.
I'm on 40 abrochire tu omo kada bia okroma sei. Obi etu kwan.
Me see me follow we be abai wa be say obi wo controller.
Yes.
E ka kire ne say 100 say oba apenia na nie fi. Na oba sika bi ombeje no je oba man 50,000.
Okay. Alaska. There are nurses omo free system mu a omo UK ye adwuma still omo salary ba. Nti why? Because we are so every month you are supposed to do verification.
Exactly.
Why not verify more salary
on their behalf?
So you see, sometimes I don't like the approach where problem everybody attacking the team, attacking and attacking. Say my culture say workplace, there must be systems in place. I check say and now last about Juma.
Okay.
About Juma no point yeah. And the best way, log in when I had the bohono. My culture say. Ghana ha corrupt until you can't even trust anybody so supervising obia. Babum, when this electronic gadget above school, teacher you kwa pa 7 o'clock you log in. About 12 o'clock you log in. Upon 5 o'clock you log in. Every day 3 times. That login in a yebe jira so di calculate to salary at the end of the month. That is the only way.
And most of the private entities.
They do.
That's right.
If you go abroad, they do a lot of things. That is what they do. You clock in, you clock out. Maybe the minimum say any pabone phone no clock in, clock out. I don't accept it because we bet me clock in. Now I coffee or kwanena my time so na clock in. So you clock 3 times. Morning, afternoon, your friend saying closing time. Because when I born for a day, also born team. That is how you do. That is why I make us say, yeah, president, we need a very tough, pragmatic, very intelligent, smart person. Also, we are cromfort, no, super cromfort. And before you think, I taught that.
And before we are smart,
yes,
only hurry up.
Because say, okay, say, young clock in and apart. Hey, I'm not for clock in, not in one him. Or we clock or down a girlfriend, we are, or the pond who time at a pond or banner clock out. No, do it to argue so, yeah, Juma. Alaska. You clock in the morning, you clock in the afternoon, you clock in the before you leave. 3 times. That data should go straight to controller.
Okay.
I am programming and no be on Saturday I have a on a computer no calculate do sikam. And the one called you na o salary at 3. Unyo no be an edge.
At the end of the day, I think you are 2 senates.
And the Wutu cancer will come baby. There is no point obi unless we are. Then the medical way no you scan and also put it in their system. Just to check that indeed we are doctors who be man sick leave the more we sick leave our issue no air doors no system
the more suspicious
then the more suspicious to become. These are some of the approach and the way we need to think and sana yasin about prosecution so because we are then people outwit the system. And these are aggressive measures. President S suggested headmaster acquired prison about 6 months. Our reputation is battered.
That's right.
Baby, I warn you, better demoted. So I'm back a crown and nobody will respect you anymore. You understand? These are some of the anything I call a for betting me at now. I had your movie.
Obiewu, ne ye validating for 29 months.
Omankasa ko na yi.
Amukwa ye ni bi nso.
Yes.
Eko bonso a.
Yes. Me say amam for mo 2 kwan, omo ti UK ye adwuma eje pounds. Omo their salaries are still coming. I'm saying how? Because you have systems in place at hospitals now. And I say okwa aban adwuma ma. HR now supposed to verify say a month we kwaku ba adwuma, we ba adwuma. But enam say ko bibi ni na ye ntino. Obeji sika verify will be a only
and even national service nipa na ye de not one call.
Yes.
Now any headmaster no cry back.
National service required is west. Na merwafo nyina dingu pay rule so.
Obi anya 90 years or national service.
Obi ni 1 year ni din e wo controller we say ye gi ni pay 1 year onya ni 1 year akwara nga. Yeah.
Chale
over 1,000 omudin wo paper ma yetu omoka.
Hey,
I tell you how dangerous. Me say we are very dangerous race. Oko Europe, some of them almost social service are such that say oh your banner say omunto wo ahunye ma na ya ma card say wetin akoye shopping for free say be ya wo banner na say.
That's right.
Ghana for Nigeria for the sa card now koyi shop near ma nyina beton ya shipping ba Ghana. Me say boni we team wo. Boni we team no.
Ghana for Nigeria for.
Omo the card no koje near ma. And obi di the card the man say koyi na mana obi timi ma me $500 na me fa me card man na koye shopping for free because card na ban dia man no ohu ni mo body ama no ono dey sepe niam beton wo kuro ma say oda business
abebie store
oh
eduba wa yesi niam aba
and most of the European countries in they are revising some of these social policies. We are very
just ya ko say ho.
Yes, Ghana for Nigeria for maybe could be a say ho. Ghana Nigeria bonne e fa no bonne. So when you're dealing with this, that is why I'm saying we need a very ruthless, pragmatic person who understands some of these things. Before we say we quicker or now cannot may hurry up.
Oh, that's right.
Before we conceive our work, we might be a menacing. But be at the beard.
Also, when our president will groom her, and I said, "I'm man for bedjan." And I say, "You could be fawa." I'm man for bedjan. And I was always a woo called yes,
because me. Uncle Fabro, you make sure you get the person on the ground, sir. You know, say, okay. When you're for cry 2 years. Now, me found Alaska to radio so did you buy at another found may your popular, me your popular.
That's right.
Maybe found you should know say you are not coming back.
On the quiet.
Oh, no, on the day now, maybe found no. The 1 year no is enough, sir. It will stand the test of prosecution at the law court and you will be convicted.
Obia sending message say the clocking system out the big minds, most effective.
Yes.
And untumi invaded the system.
No.
As we call the big minds are.
Yes.
The clocking system.
Now Alaska, you see, because some of these in IT, one kasa you can do your own design. Find Obiomba build a very robust firewall. Aya impregnable. Obintimi breaking in. One kasa na our back end access you control within obient control, then you link it to your first controller system. And then when you log in quickly now a co-controller that and people they are monitoring some of these things. So I know the day uno bianco jetting your salary home uko juma tere hon salary na
and at the end of the day salary baba
Three.
But do you know how that system need?
That is how it should be.
First now you I'm say
no, natural then.
And to bar.
Yes.
Alaska,
you log in. So remember there you log in the morning, you log in the afternoon, log in 3 times a day, and Nina should reflect our controller. Database, And here, o salary, ye nise salary say na meje. Day biano. Ya spread ya guso ebi a dey be 200 Ghana edura ya kekamo oba 3 ho salary obi anko ndi wote ho anya obi reba ka cho say tumrika kwa adwuma aye no na omo abrochire no obi ya adwuma 6 o'clock or sorry 4 a.m. ko twen bus why are they running to workplace because onim say wan kwa nkoduro on time a ebetime yi wadi and our salary won sanka because broni no they don't compromise on some of these things the productive output here very low.
That's right.
Productive output. Never said on mining ko ye. because adwuma na da bi eti amanfo ka no mfa so obi ani so
and go to some ministries me no ka say or say ono mo wa medwuma ntem or say okọ lunch
yes
okọ buy your fan bag
okọ fie and that is the culture we are not ready to address and the headmaster no so ti ono so ne nkora da na pose sika ya njeje na ojeje the any so ye no say oh me say your problem your indiscipline greed and your we na Africa yeti ba bia yeti indiscipline greed and in as much as the president has proposed some of these effective ways on the other side, because Alaska way is dealing with the consequences, the aftermath of Niamano Moyano. But me so media say we should tackle the base, take corrective measures, and make sure say as they happen, we prevent them at the early stages, and that is the best approach to resolving some of these things. And the states must also show that readiness. We are no longer ready to compromise on some of these things. I mean, you don't even need to set up a fast track high court or whatever. Existing court, just resource them and make sure. Because when okay, I say Kufo Court, fast track high court be my own. Chachuchi Kata, the assembly court, render the whole court inactivity unconstitutional.
That's right.
Because one neck careful, obibe use legality to trash whatever. Media say we have court, resource them. Make sure say adebio muhia bia no provide say judges more now you need to appoint them, resource them. Make sure say they are able to sit on these cases on short notice. Obi and discretion. People must be penalized for discretion as well. Because you cannot sit at the office and me see you who take a decision no consequences e wo ho no be ma man na boka. And you get away with it? No. Say Obi exercise foolish discretion and the person must suffer for it. And over the years, and no one ya suffer more mine about better I know. Kwabrane da soro se am for mine si kan ko dua nua. E wo ba bi o no anim se nso nto ho. And providing anything that is a foolish discretion you are exercising, and you must be punished for that because you will see car. And ka won se sam fa nko ba bi se nko dua nua when you know se nso nto ho.
Kwabrane sorry or say La General Hospital yenko bu.
Ya bu atuagu foolish discretion. Akufo Adorye ka say obesi sa dan na wo hefa and then la phone hospital and then a President Mahama say wo mesi
that's right, and in 2 years time kwanza na
Alaska
be complete
na adwen wo tima Yakubu Hospital gu
any more
ya nkura no so wo mesi school dan ama say chinamo school ya bu school dan na bu ya besi foforo you find a land, erect the new building, uria then they move in. That is a common practice anywhere.
Na say kwan kura wo be ya access route
and no way there ya block kwan no obi anfa ne can't na vie kwan no wi na maba and amunko yisu ada kwan for
a 3 way na di yenso for 8 years no
that is the head and na Akufo Adorye na make cancel hunu say no Ghana for afi no say me say anya ono na aye
ahoto FM
system ni very weak and then ama we nyina aba because me Sanka President Mahama has gone to the extent of establishing a commission that will grill Akufo Adorye for many of the foolish decisions that he took. Say what time I am prosecuting and
to see from now up to 3 years and so when to me I'm prosecuting na asa.
Okay.
And you lay grounds so
if you don't want to prosecute him, nobody can buy you from appearing before a commission.
That's right.
Now you don't have the camera see so na Ghana for bisa. I didn't know na Owusu cathedral. Court to be anywhere chance ade we. Na ye tutu asere na abasa. Oman ya ne ho kire no a amanfo nya di ombedi. Oman ya economic crunch ye ntimi nkobobosia. Na wo so betam nipa sika. Anya o maame de anya o papa de. Wodi kwa kusi cathedral na de na ba wadwenem. Then no one can't the whole world.
Na anya sepia a land kura ye fufuro. Baby ye sisi adanse. Oba papa no
na wo bu judges dan ya to agu.
Oman sika high down in dollars.
Yes. Now we catch the Ghana for. Say we are president. Yes, I'm now we are kokoti. That is why I say we see we need to be very tough. We need to be very radical. We cannot play nice when you want to deal when you are dealing with criminals. You need to tell them you are an extra criminal before you deal with these people because someone prosecuting nobody can refuse a commission's your friends saying a call.
Okay.
So come and explain why you covered the Sikano. Oko hand down what Adakulu 15 million. Now what this 17 million year renovation. Now we are no obi ankwatem yankwa ya hwe wo ho.
But serious so.
Adakulu. Alaska.
What the Adakulu?
Yes.
COVID time, no?
Yes.
Who can hide dying 15 million?
Yes.
And now your renovation 70 million.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, the other bear no crown or
Yeah.
Menu Esika, and that was the president.
Hey!
No has the gut and the infantry to be sitting somewhere talking nonsense. Alaska, and system be very weak. I have read around politics, and one thing I am strength I made the name of politics a deterrence. In the beginning of after Second World War, no, Russia and America were built arms race and more building nuclear weapons.
That's right.
Nobody ever thought of, and it's never going to be happen. So we use nuclear warhead. It will be so. Since World War II, 1945 to now, what will be used to that? No. The only time I even atomic bomb could be used to is when America used it. The fence saying Hiroshima and then the fence in Japan. That is the only time they hold this thing as deterrence to deter other person. They say this are the way I am mutually destructive. And to what attack me attack and that will protect you. Deterrence. That is why a death penalty we take it off the table because we are jokers. Because death penalty is there not for killing people. Say to deter. And then people find easy killing. Obit me that and for no bunicom. Obit me catch and a girlfriend so could me with Trinity.
Immigration officer.
Yes. Me friend and for say, Mombra me fee my friend immigration or banner kuno. No be say e ba ne say na brand any to me convincing and for 5 people mo mu nyina te ase so ba ye bekuno. What is asem na say? We need to spell out consequences. Sabe ya nipa be hu say ade o me kwaya e ho nsunsanso nie na ya nya ne aguma. So this is the starting point. Na attorney general ni nkrofo to be aggressive. No mo make sure say me say ade ba kwa Ghana for dinner so to abaye prosecution o.
That's right.
Apart from 1 year no the obaye bi emfo bi aho. The prosecution no must be swift. Menkasa kwa which hanti obi nyamfa sika jano. Cecilia da pa enko ase walking around. Ni sika no ba bi onya no they need to explain. Ko obi a who hold public trust. Unya billions of dollars the sham pass at the time o mine no na ye minister ya announcement say sram wa foreign currency bia fabra.
E ko titi gagaufo.
Yes. Na o minister were over millions of dollars and pass it.
But emumpa nyamia GM Ivan.
Enti emre we na se wodi atimodin bu o man no ma manfo hu say this era is going to be designated as a dark era in our political era, the Akufo-Addo era. Okaso prosecute obi a there is no single person obesoreti out.
Oh, that's right.
Me say Muhammad asore ne. No, so the Akufo-Addo appointees I'm telling you, Ghana for big Jina Kwan atie him.
Abonsem.
Yes.
And no one say wound to me. First time members of Parliament quarter FM. And others say Nkwana Namu. And in a Juma your phone kakran.
Omokura adwuma fan kro ombebre.
Wa twetwen.
Omoko court 1 2 3 ombebre. Alaska because winim nya. And I catch say first no na young people edi amamfo achi blindly. But I catch say kroma nipa no moye politics especially people from 50 60 years adwobone we wo mutim they are very dangerous and greedy.
Oh, that's right.
They don't think about anybody, it's about themselves. First day nipa second day. Now this is a guy politics no oye no. Ono anya sika to lo zero scam mako 15 guni dem. Onya sika no because of MPP ba power.
That's right.
Now wona wudi ache ye osono ni bicycle kura wonni bi adwuma kura wonni bi.
Oya dai.
Osono no. Na kwabrane ono because oya original chairman no wato lo zero scam no turn back on Alaska. Do you know how many young people
enye sika ketwa?
Yes. And the winning nyansa abedi sa nipa nachi. You follow people who don't care about you. They don't even realize how we nipa bi. We are boy bi kura man.
Do you know?
So it's about them.
Do you know say even kura pe a yoko ani ne cause on running crew of kura na add information no call you.
Yes.
Oh yes say na the way wa ha. Na the way wa ha. That's right.
Say won't me near order and you no kwa about 80% of Kenyan politicians that is how they are.
That's right.
It's always they're very selfish, very greedy. It's about them. And that o to be no. Na be unse san nipa no mudi wa kire mo nya agimi fo na hwe na mo hwe wo. That is the reason why court ro sha se so okwa be do bi ono nkwa na be ko obi akora ni wachi Alaska because wunya usika no wo de to car akese egu fie Rolls Royce Lamborghini ni na se fo no Hap do not send a bit me.
Crash cry. I was say the maslok. The man and one more mukita buja.
Yes.
Sakas ni so what pack you.
Yes. 1990 no na Ghana young Ghanaian and nti. Nti ohun a honorable. Oh yes sir. But ene no. Ehun say Ghana no. San Ghana ni e nyina de na enkrofo bi chedi. Wunya ese menya bi. Wunya ese o ma me bi. But onya o ma.
That's right.
Obeto Rolls Royce the car sakese asesa ne mark go aburochire. Chese sika no de wanim or the sika ba soma man de akoma ne girlfriend na ekomede o.
That's right.
Yes, ankwase ne man na ekoso. And ade ba kwa ye mabufu a me pese mehu ne sa obi birthday so na me kwa ye donation na munim achi sa ankwase asem no. Alaska nipa no mudi na chi omo so ne ma no. Omo ye hiafo ekomede omo. De omo di kro omo nya. Na wasesa wadi wachi na wo so. Ye friends say drink na so for say ye kwa ya Adorye. When won kasa o rent kra wuntimi ntua. Na onu udi na chi aboni chi dom na u the camera di na chi just for a show orphanage home donation nipa no mudi wachi no they are more than orphans nipa no mudi wachi omo ye honorable they are more than orphans but they don't care that's how selfish and greedy some of these people are and the Alaska when the day comes you will be there alone and make no mistake and think say a young Ghanaian is a fool. Trust me, on my what. You see, there are certain people, they are full of themselves. You just watch them, you play along and let them do whatever they do. What I say? Politics now, and that is not how it's supposed to be. Me say when you have power, you use that particular power to build people up. You don't focus on yourself. I know the day. I know be akobi nkwano. Sa that here.
Akamenko.
Nti meduru ho ma obi mes nja ne tama oye. Ono hia ni no proud of ni hia o.
Obi message. Tie Ivan thinks very big mining company be follow show no. Na tie. O say e wo mines no. So you 5 minutes later you log you out. 5 days absence without permission dismissal. Too many reporting to hospital, question and possibly dismissed.
Yes. Yes. But Ghana no nyo obi ade. Nyo obi ama me de nyo obi papa de.
Free for all.
Yes. And obi and supervisor obi and nipa no supervisor no obi. Nti hwan a teacher for mo ye supervisors no. Obi timi ko school bi a ton sama no ma o. Kwan fa so free school mo kwa hu ni bi.
Me say Ivan me kwa kira ade wo village bi. Na secretary supervisor na ba. A teacher for the headmaster said to me, "You no pension for a kama."
Yeah.
Na ye de akwako hia no ensuo neja. Enti ono no me no ka se kura no e twabrode ni aponchin ni we ne dia.
E dia ma no.
Enti omampo omma.
Ba be de. So ono so obi an check no. Ono no hwan na check no. Ono no yes supervisor no. Hwan is supervisor no. The system is very weak, structurally uncoordinated. Obi e ye de ope. Baby a obi a me se Ghana ha wote ha na kasa obebo kro no a obebo afa ho adi ko system na kasa nim nyansa system na esi ho no
system
there are a lot of back doors ndi obokro no ye chi wanyansa na wunni ko there are a lot of back doors a obetimi aye
and the say obokro no ye chi wa na is a wona the system no enim nyansa
dabi the system is blind, structured to be blind, and where people see they are corrupt to the stand or no they are not fan of so change the whole fan. And what is the motivation to come up with
Obi to because me talk few
Nanko obi a di bonni a yamfa na ma court no judge timi kwaje aponchen na we no waja no obi a yade nipa hye brasha wonsa waje aponchen obi so na ma girlfriend na enu nti no waja na case no wato agu niam akoso okroma bi ne so Alaska for me I think say
right.
Let us spell out the punitive consequences, and that will scare people.
But I'll say, about 23 minutes to the top of the hour, 5 p.m. Ivan J. Innocent and I'll tell you, can for now, I'll call break, kakra, political break. Now, and you say break, like, Hopeson Adorye leave no yet 1-to-1 to be. Meeting I say, I'm wishing me, but no. This world is full of surprises. Enoch Rovi as a man can say. I say Ghana for mama yam fa yang GDA and yang support and for John Dramani Mahama. Na MPP amanu ko niam ma ba be say no. Say yes ye be bie so di amamwa. Wa be hu MPP ni so ba obetwe aba no abone ma. Odincha de ma isi regional chairman Dr. Mark Oliver Kevon and a Charles Nyame Free SHS Secretariat coordinator our Eastern region. So dia or the aba enono. Imad Wefi Kokobin, Ose Alaska video voice na can say umia ni nufu na eye ne yanti hwe said ya Owusu sebi umia ubema etino samboma yembio oh hima we should dia odi aba Ose Alaska yeda se ene adwuma oye Ose mania owo asunu ntie ni Nyankopon Ose odifo da ne homati ade ahomaso situation is very different. Some tema and the way if you buy I say almost every night at time no na yet say ye trisika kwani na me see penny bi ni me ka so say ohun minister bi o bokuro no chinken no foriata na omutu osika no ye de bo fieru aso amemu ne abefa enti ye de kwa na de sika no kwa na ye de atu pick up no kono na another transit enti mo amode kono enyemu na mode to aso osi kenoforiata de oye talented criminal papa basa atamu amu yedmo Bank of Ghana oye den koka Musa de Wefi Kofodia sentimental ena ono so odi ebaaye okay ma me hwe we nsu de odi aba osi Alaska Ivan ontumi redraw that osi wo decision say me ma radio so be osi redraw ne 10 e de na ba kan wan kan kura nkaye ono sini dia Mama Joe Edward V Dodowa also Efa Galamsey Huno Omwa ye chiwom no se omo ye se woma Galamsey sari omo de omo modia on the yo de yenji sa omo ni amani nyina ne fa mo my Ghana so ni Ivan eya adwen pa Ivan enche ye be fa course any other matters
Alaska I think that when it comes to prosecution and as a form of FM 92.3 the best thing that Attorney General and his people can do is to speed up the processes because Ghanaians are quite fatigued with this culture of yakofa abronyende na camera sidinachi or chana yakofa way na camera sidinachi or chana ya free way camera I know it's an attempt to build a case in as a form. But you see, some of these things must be coordinated because we are not just dealing with a criminal justice system. This is governance. Our governance has to sustain the kind of understanding among for about what is happening. Is very key and very important because at the end of the day, that is going to be a judgment call by Ghanaians. And that Sana Galamsey also the ATA. Because at the end of the day, it is not the government that is going to tell people, say, you're fighting Galamsey.
That's right.
The verdict is with the people. They will determine whether you were successful or not. Any measure be available, government have to activate it because now the president has the support of the people. He has the power. He has the authority. He has people who are willing to collaborate with him just to ensure, say, any measure under the sun necessary to ensure, say, you stop this cancer, we need to. Because the consequences and the implications of some of these activities, are far overreaching and very consequential. And we cannot sit here and prioritize the greed of few misguided, twisted minds because they think they are close to power, they have some influence. The greed, in a bid to satisfy it, destroy everything in their way. And that distraction will come to Menewo. In the form of insu ebenom aduana yebedi and yaso toba ira wudia niam ewo manya de ketwa ba
serious
even to the sense that Ghana cocoa kura no some traces of chemicals have been identified somewhere in tebedu ba bi no when they come to value FOB price na obo determine in cocoa no the quality e kan ho bi and some people begin to identify some of these things that the quality of your destined crowd will drop. Your pricing regime it will affect the pricing. You understand? So we all have a responsibility. We have one nation to build. And I think in a concerted effort, it doesn't matter where you stand across the political divide.
Right.
Let us be fully committed. Now you're making sure we win this particular fight because we can.
This is Ivan Kyei Innocence.
I've been signing off. Right,
that I say Ivan Kyei Innocence and I will tell you Kano.
And when Senior Chamu said, Mooney who are gross said the Ankawo saw and told him, I will be no. Men saw banning of Winchin Chim said their own Honodokono. Obedient.
No son will be kind no and count on about Skaklansa. Now, honestly, to me, church and same among energy. No, quarry. mahama semana.
And I think that I'm happy about the renewed effort to prosecute individuals.
FM 92.3.
That's right.
That is what you rightly said, because Makamba be said. Nyansa be a dim say yabetana se na manfo I am misappropriate state fund. Na official na yasesa gubu kum ni abakan akire.
That's right.
Say nya dan. It doesn't make sense, and this is the mistake we've been repeating since Kufuor time up to now. I feel be Auditor General report over. But you see, and idea report say by a bar for us to take corrective measures. Say subsequent years, you know. NC and I say a secret na a back form to the way by idea. Then they go and look at the Auditor General report. Sikana a woman no. I feel be a unicosro. It means we are not growing, and we are nurturing this culture. Emma man for a committee this kind of a plunder in the name of party politics, they get away with it. So if the president can come up with swift measures a bit more to handle situation like this, I think it's a call. And then on Galamsey too, there has been some renewed effort, and now too, and you say not most in other ways.
That's right.
More operations, and as for I have also suggested, say the best approach is to prosecute individuals who are involved in some of these things. You understand? And I think over the weekends, you won't to me or koba, when you bail, I think the court will never shall see a coso. I think you see, Alaska state, my culture say you cannot show weakness, because the very moment you begin showing weakness, that is your end. And that is what we must not do as a country. So the best way you bet me go about some of these things and say you best spell out the rules in these things. And I think that is exactly what is happening.
Right. So what that was Ivan Kyei innocent. Now a quick one. And want to me asem and let us look at Galamsey and the approach of the government. Just last week, and president NECS with ACIM. And everyone was say Kwakuba, your friend, Ababoncha say, we hear the extent of damage. A company, a friend of quantum mining, I was say abano a punitive measures, a more thing at the massage company. Niam punishing serve as a deterrent. At the due side with him.
Alaska, a quantum mining issues now, a buy ye baby, and I can't want them.
That's right.
One of the people who blowed the fence saying, I don't know, my 40 years
very well.
And at some point in time, you
FM 92.3.
And he has been a critical voice. To be very honest with you may disagree with his politics and whatever that he says. But on this particular matter, I can tell you on authority that he's one of the persons that blew the lead on this quantum mining in the forest. Then as a for money by year back and forth at the time, now President Kufuor Adorye was president. The message was that the president should take corrective measures as at the time to ensure say stop it, the distraction that wound to meaning in crew were causing in the forest. President turned a blind eye to and went to the extent of absolving the gentleman of any wrongdoing without any investigation. Kufuor Adorye need a single investigation to arrive at a conclusion. Say, a quantum mining and involved in Galamsey, not just Galamsey keke, a forest reserve or Timu say Nema. Enti Kwakubako from the onset. And for me, I keep telling people say the best approach in handling some of this situation, and they say, Yabako all way all out after these individuals. And to back there was a time and I discussing about Debena John Mahama about this Galamsey.
That's right.
I'm a catcher, so you see, in order to tell the people so you are really serious about this particular fight and you want to take it to a different level, no, you should start by prosecuting individuals whose involvement in the past, have brought us where we are today.
Exactly.
Because water level from 0 to 500 may rise to 6,000 to 12,000. It's a crime that has been committed. The consequences has been suffered already. So these individuals cannot be left off the hook. Confirm from Pom Watson report, and begin with it and tell people, say, yes, I said I'll fight Galamsey and I am going all out. So you begin by prosecuting these individuals. You do so in tandem with Niama also to solve the problem. And for me, that is a good start. So to me, I have listened to a lot of people who want to do politics with this whole thing and say, "Oh, you're political witch hunting." I keep telling people, say, the NDC will be very stupid to engage political witch hunting, and the choice of individual they will go after is going to me. No serious political strategist
will do that.
Will do that because besides I want to win the political value. What I say? So witch hunting is totally out of the way. The matter is that even when his government was in power, the evidence were quite abound. People within his own party, including their own friends, including Kwaku Bakon, were saying, the gentleman has invaded the forest, and indeed, over 288 forest reserve na yawono. Almost 49 were entered into. 9 was completely destroyed, taken by these people. And the footprints are quite obvious. Professor Frimpong Watson Amaye and a painstaking investigation report what the others of the names in the what's our report no a bit parliament and no more.
That's right.
A bit your friends say just say do na fa omhodi.
They are in existence.
A bit so ewa ban. And these are individuals you go after them and punish you more. Then people will attach some seriousness. Government here Galamsey over the years. Me who high profile individual be a jail for 5 years for Galamsey. Me who be a jail 10 years because I Galamsey. So beside say I dear Ben now has scam man for to do Galamsey. After what is the worst that can happen?
That's
you
right.
Understand? So I think government prosecuting these individuals, including Wontumi and Kono, should be the starting point. And I am saying, it must not end with Wontumi. Because the Frimpong Watson report is sitting there, Kufu, and several other individuals. That is the starting point. Then government should go ahead to adopt extra harsh measures. I've listened to a lot of people who say, Nad Moscow, Muram, ya Kochiche Mranti, and ya Shares Kabe, ya She, your friends say, Chamfine, and I say for Alaska, so I didn't say, Rollins a pencil.
I just started to say,
ya Chis Chamfine, Kochim Ranti, and that has been a deal be. So the question is, what is it that you're doing differently this time round? And that is where you go after the amount for now. Or more behind the scenes, or more will give you fund to finance some of these things. First one, my culture say, UTC Crumbs is here, and I saw Galamsey site her. Every single land the beer who be our owner. And you're handed the individual idiot.
That's right.
And this Obi ya Galamsey, assassin, and you be there. So as a Okwachena, that's a Nippon general free so crana. First of all, you ask yourself, who owns the land? My demon a register land, no? Ebi na Piaba, Alaska the Don, assassin. What does a Winnimo?
You must answer.
Land because your property. You have a responsibility to ensure, that particular land is safeguarded. And it is a 1 year you become criminally liable. And as a Wilson, our demand, that even makes it worse.
I'm not cutting you short. Just 3 days ago, call Airfanti Aqua South. Papa be to me, Nifia was in what don't have the Magalam says. This you know, Aqua Chino.
Exactly.
And I'm a to me.
Exactly. So, why would the land name, and Yakasi Shas Animanasia? Me say ahim fu bebre be ko prison ukroma say
ahim fu bebre.
Oh yes, if you go to the mining district because land no mo de man for ahim fu na dia mo. And this land have owners. So the radical measures government can adopt in Alaska. Yeba ahoto FM asase we so hwan de. Hwan na de man Galamsey ni obi tu yeba chiwa wutu no ache asase wura.
That's right.
We are confiscate asase no are transforming into a state land. So it is no, you lose it forever.
Okay.
These are aggressive measures we take here. We a landowner. Now say you go to land more be so fun to Galamsey ye land na through some ya sia prosecute too. Don't you think people it will scare people?
No, so it will make the way no very uncomfortable.
Exactly. Again, the financiers, my catchers are financiers and they been your MPs, they been your ministers, they been your top politicians, they been me a him from Panimfo, they been me a software mrantie ya do on them social media.
I'm on Papa no
yes, oh, they have some have excavators a good ground for a year way more. It took Galamsey more.
Wow.
Oh yes. So these are the campaigns behind. I have financed this particular enterprise called Galamsey, which I have designated it to be a criminal organization. And I said a crime syndicate or pretty. So whoever is in should rather also be designated as a criminal. And dealing with criminals is very easy. So that is why the state must come in with all the aggression again. Obia yabacheno no. And your hidden the software by patcha imam abone way by patcha ubia wum. Ya chewa embaranu nie. Okwa abrochire na se cross traffic light na say police chiwa na minim o man shada bia ni ba bia that thing is not even open for conversation. Either you pay the sport fund or you go to court. Now there are court will be our country. And you have no man shada na me ba yare na say nothing. Obi anya ready to listen to anything. Wafum. That is what this particular Galamsey thing to do. Yes, the government now have been following the land minister, moving from bush to bush.
That's right.
You see, at a level, they are doing a lot just to ensure. But Alaska, I am saying, sir, let us adopt extra measures. Extra measures, sir. A bit to me, I put this whole fight on the spotlight. A man for be scared of the consequences that are involved. Now you're making sure, sir, we protect the land of this particular way because ensuo na ye can ensuo say ya ensuo ni men DC ni any men PP ni o. And there is this shocking revelations about say 2023 and Akufo-Addo ye $11 million at the current nsuo ba Ghana. $11
million.
Yes. $11 million. We am ashe wa ho.
Ha!
$11 million at current nsuo Ghana. Yeah, nka we ase nyina wo kan ka ye tie kurase. Ntinka wo tie kurase dia nsuo dia bu nsuo no so ya papa.
$11 million at the grand nsuo.
At current nsuo e ba krom ha say. Because what can I was say no e poisoned. What wonim na konum bia wonim de besi. And I have told you if you move to hospital, then that is where you get stuck with the reality of the implications of some of these your friends enterprises are can. So let us not reduce the conversation to NDC in a channel, MPP in a channel. Whoever that is involved, they are just finding a way to sustain their greed. Get the money, damn the consequences. The state in this all rises to the occasion and then put the red lines across the sand. Say, Charlie, these are the new rules of engagement. Gold no assassin, we are day nipa betu. Untumin kasa money pan to gold. But what are the corrective measures? I had to acquire my idea. That was why the last time I suggested, say, you see, this community mining, why mining as for her. We are you know after 1 year on corner, let us form state-owned and companies.
Okay.
Individuals leading should be trained individuals equipped with modern ways of mining. And you call Bogosoa. You inside this state-owned way even private companies will be incorporated. I mean the small scale mining.
Okay.
The person order no first one making sure say they stick to standard and as for no ayobia or yeah well versed in this area. And at the day no say you call this district you who say at the bonny because you know the company to hold responsible. What I say and this illegal mining you know we just flash it out because yes and then they say yes when they say yes so there is no room entertaining some of these things. So Alaska, we are here because of your friend saying the complicity of some individuals in the past and the greed of some people who are present today. Bono, nothing is going to stop them until say you best spell out the consequences to them. So won't to me and other people no, they are only facing the fate they deserve because Alaska. So we had near my akoso and so in sase it got to a time I was so we prime him now we wenima. Kwabraninya kukodru kwatena forest reserve. Etwetwa bi ma amamfo boso me so no de book na momoso say na medema o ma me 3 acres obema me gold 10% na waje ha o ti radio so na gugu table so e di bis si ne se e talkers gu ni fie
a the bis si ne dan
ne se because I did well because Ashanti Kingdom near ne dey.
That's right.
Because free access to gold or sense wo sense as soldier for born ho ban also ye mayor and as so ye dey ban obi an kan asem and na o said yes or say nyina okroma emra so say niema na wo ye no wan fa mra kwan so na ye bra na bayi wa no because forest reserve illegal so be kwa wuram emra no mo de ba ye say ye mfa nkonko ye sa de no it's good the minister has your friends are prompted say immediately no that particular law must be revoked because it doesn't make sense. You understand? Because it is a forest reserve for a reason. But this is a guy Owura forest reserve no and that forest reserve keke. So when is Owura forest we nua wom
sa also twetwa mu nua
and when is kroma wo hia authorization say na wotwa dua
exactly
otwetwa nua no say mechanized trees o tree a utwa ewo commercial value ka wom
like so, rose roofs and other
so your quiet day you be anim owie na osan AC be OCC your friend say you say na edan ketenkete am for betting me forest no nti ono da na crimes dey dawson and na osan CC adan ewo we no so asase no so
and I said to trade between their mama
without license.
Hi,
these are the reality, and Akufo-Addo saw this, and he was then bold enough to go and stand in front of Catholic Bishop Conference at their occasion and told himself, "Won't to me, here saying one at a time the distraction going on."